All right, guys, you know what time it is. That's right. It's time for the #1 Star Citizen podcast that happens at 10 p.m. every Friday night. That's right. It's a SpaceBro show. You know what it's all about, baby. And we're here to talk about Star Citizen with our super special guest, Mr. Bernard. That's right. Joining us also in the ranks here, we have the one, the only Dr. Drones in the house as well. Looking sinister and evil as always. And you know him, you love him, the snack master himself, Mr. Toy Grubbin in the house, eating his chips, eating his salsa, and enjoying all the luscious goodness there has to happen all over the place. Perfect. Let's get to it, guys. You know what we're here to do. Let's talk about Star Citizen and 3.0. Alrighty, yes. Great gravy. Goodness gosh. Way over there making a mess of his desk, too, at the same time. That was great.
We're a bunch of nut jobs here.
There it is. There it is. What is up, guys? What is up?
What's going on?
Terrific, awesome, stupendous week. We finally hit a monumental moment. 3.0 is now officially with the Evocati, and they are rigorously testing the build. So that is so exciting.
Process of making guacamole.
I'm telling you. So it's good. It's going to be super hype. I don't know. I had a great show yesterday, and I know a lot of you guys have seen a big uptick in people in the last couple of days. People are coming over checking out for all the beautiful 3.0-age just talk and discussion. Even though we don't have anything 3.0 to show them on the stream, they definitely are here to talk about it and get hype and all that stuff. So
I had such a big uptick. I think I got Lyme disease.
There you go.
Oh, no.
That's the way to push it over the top. Well, I don't know. We'll find some medication for that as soon as possible, sir. All right, so let's start out with you, Uber Nerd. How's your week been so far? What have you been up to? Tell us all about that.
I've been up to trolling my viewers, and every time there's a $10 gift card giveaway, it's like gimme now, and then the next one will maybe this time, and
perfect.
Yeah. But it's all in good fun until somebody loses an eye.
Absolutely. So, and that's going to continue to grow and be awesome over there. And for those of you who don't know, we all have a giveaway going, but Uber Nerd also has a special race pack giveaway that you should definitely be entering and get in there. And I know I've seen a lot of people entering the $500 gift card giveaway, but why wouldn't you just reach over and tick the other button too while you're there? I don't know, but make it happen, guys. Definitely get some more interest.
Yeah, come on, guys, give me a reach over.
Yeah,
what?
Yeah, that's a whole different maneuver. Absolutely. All right, and also, Mr. Dr. Drones, how has your week been? What have you been up to? Tell us a little bit how.
My week has been great.
Awesome.
Just doing the usual stuff, Star Citizen. I tried out Warframe the other day. That went very well.
Oh, cool.
I'm kind of enjoying it. It's it's a nice little distraction here and there. Sometimes you need to try something different.
Absolutely.
So it was good. Everybody
and it's
loved
very
it.
Sci-fi game, so it's pretty cool. It's got some cool stuff to it.
Yep. It's definitely right up my alley for things I like to play.
Cool deal. I noticed I was catching a little bit of one of your streams and you're showing us all your cool new eye gadget there to hook on to your glasses.
The eye?
Yeah, the eye piece there. That was pretty neat. It looked very Borg-like. For your IRL stream, we have your
told me you were going to bring that up. I would have had it here to
I bring up everything. But
I've got the clamp on the glasses. I just don't have the piece.
But people tune in and they'll check it out
Google
for
glasses.
sure.
Yeah, come watch.
Yeah, come watch for sure. Because if you want to know anything about IRL streaming, Mr. Drones has got it down, and it's some good shit for sure. Whether you're a streamer or a viewer, he's got good stuff and he's got good systems to show it to you. And Mr. Toy Grubbin, you've seen an uptick in busyness in the Conan server over the last week or two too. So it's been getting It's been getting pretty busy over there. So tell us about what you've been up to. What's going on?
Well, our servers, I guess a bunch of other servers just quit their empty servers and came over to ours to start some trouble.
Oh, there you go.
And trouble is what they've been getting. So every night when I go to bed, I wake up and somebody's broke like a torch or a bedroll or something silly like that. And then when we get on, we go over and destroy their bases. And then they get mad at us. And they're like, well, all we did was destroy a torch and a bedroll, and you destroyed our bases. We said, yep.
Yep.
So every single night,
You need to respond with all your base are belong to us.
There you go.
That's it. They have not. They're not getting any quarter from us. So.
No.
That's right.
No, if you make the move over to, what server number is it again? If you make the move over
424?
Yeah, 424. If you come over to the 424 server, you better bring your big boy pants because it's going to be on. That's for sure. There's no lackadaisical over there. So if you play Conan and you want to be on the team, be nice. If you want to fight and have a good fight, you better be ready because it'll be fun.
We're nice to everybody too. I mean,
till you break your torches.
That's it. Don't break my torches.
Freaking bastards breaking torches everywhere. God.
Yeah, right.
So messed up. All right. And for those of you who caught my stream yesterday, obviously we had a large uptick of people coming in with the 3.0 hype. We had a great conjuring session. We did 3 or 4 conjures. And, man, Jay Lee came in and clipped some stuff, and boy, that shit blew up. We have right now over 7,400 views on that clip, and it's going crazy. And it's really fun. It's a fun blast. So definitely, guys, make sure to tune into my channel and, come have some fun with some Star Systems and all that jazz. But just so you guys know, to start out the show, we're going to be doing a $10 gift card giveaway for you guys tonight. So we're going to kick that off right about now. Just exclamation mark SpaceBro, just to throw you off. So all you guys who save it every time, I have to do this. I say SpaceBros sometime, and then I say SpaceBro because they try to auto-save it and just to screw up the bots. We got to keep changing it and all that stuff.
That's right.
Yep. So make sure exclamation mark SpaceBro to enter for that $10 gift card giveaway. And obviously we'll take care of y'all. But you do have to follow all these awesome strummers in this beautiful, lovely talk show. So make sure you're doing that. And if you don't have everybody's address, it should be exclamation mark SBG like Toy linked in the chat. And you can just go through and make sure you're doing that during the course of the show. And if you have any questions, it's exclamation mark questions in chat, and it'll load up to our database. And then during the last half of the show, what we'll do is go dive in deep. We'll answer your questions to the best of our ability, and just have a good time with it. So let's get this thing started, guys. We possibly had one of the, I won't say it was one of the best episodes of ATV, but it was one of the most anticipated because it had the prolonged, really diligent burn down in the beginning that really kind of gave us the granular detail of like the struggles they went through over the last week trying to get this build out to Evocati, trying to get all this stuff rolling for us. And I mean, they've been so close so many times, and to finally get there, it just, you could tell it was a relief off them as much as it was for us.
Well, on the second, you could see when they were like, well, we found these bugs, we're not going to be able to push it out. And you could see Aaron, who's just like, oh, God. I mean, he was so, because, they all wanted it out the door. They've just wanted to get it out there and get to that point. Yeah. And, you can't push it out when it's got certain types of bugs. But once it gets past that level, then the, then it's going.
Yeah, absolutely. You can tell Aaron was just done with the whole deal. He was done. He was sitting there during most of the scenes where you saw Aaron. Aaron's just sitting there like, he's just letting Chris talk. He's like, Chris even had to like prompt Aaron, is that good with you? He's like, whatever.
Yeah, let's get it out.
He's
whatever. Whatever. He's like,
yeah,
I was like, I was done 3 weeks ago on this shit. Whatever, just get it out. So
he's been sleeping there.
Yeah.
In his office.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to have to, at this point, they were going to have to hire barbers and shit to come into the office and start cutting people's hair because it was like getting crazy sauce up in there.
Speaking of that, all those people that had the beard rule, they weren't going to shave till 3.0. Now they are going to have a lot of clean shaven
Well,
faces.
the question is it 3.0 Evocati? Is it 3.0 PTU? Or is it 3.0 live?
I think what, Disco
think
Lando, he
5.
clarified his promise was live. So he's not going to shave any, he's not going to shave at all until it goes live to everybody.
So
Yep.
tomorrow.
I just don't. I think Disco's grown attached to his bushy beard. I think he's finding any way to like hang on to it to a certain point.
I was saying that this guy reminds me of like a movie character, like a Roman or Greek god, like Vulcan or something like that.
Yeah.
I could see him in full armor, at the anvil, beating a brand new sword and sparks flying everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. He's got the hair for it. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely pantheon of gods.
There you go.
The underground.
I just want his hoodie
in that volcano.
I want that hoodie so bad. That's that Cloud Imperium.
That is a pretty sweet hoodie.
It's a sweet hoodie, man. With the
it is a sweet hoodie
with the white pocket trim and all that stuff. Now Chris, of course, he chose a really good shirt. We wore the same shirt yesterday on this. So it was he had that shirt on then, and then he had it on again. Yeah, the Polaris shirt, of course. So you can tell they're all just wiped though on all this stuff. But
yeah,
again, they went through the bugs. They got a lot of this stuff hammered out. We alternate days, that way we don't match too much. He's got to wear his on one day, and then I wear mine on the other day. We have a schedule.
Oh, I have one for every day of the week for every Polaris I have.
There you go. All the Polarises. This is the Tuesday Polaris shirt.
I was gonna tell the fib that you guys only have one between you, and you share it. You have a custody agreement.
It's like what was that like teenage coming of age show or something like that? I don't know. My wife watched it. It was something about like the traveling pants or something like that, where they all shared the same jeans or some crap. I don't remember.
Oh, the Sisterhood of the Traveling
Something
Pants.
like that.
How would you know that name?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like chick flicks, bro. Don't hate. Don't hate.
But
I'm okay with who I am.
Yeah, there you go. The Sisterhood. See, Bender even knew it. If Bender knows the show, then
Right.
it's okay.
Why are my glasses yellow now? They're gunner glasses.
They're gunner
dude.
glasses, bro. Styling.
Just got back from the range, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. He's
Yeah.
hardcore shooting. Because he never washes them in video. He never washes them. But anyway, so
That's what it is.
He's a heavy smoker.
I'm going to torture us all with 30 minutes of this. But you can tell, just stage by stage, they were just punching out issues. They were trying to do all that. I do want to get to the all important aspects of. Where was it? Oh, I had a graph.
What Eric Kyron Davis looks like he has gained a bit of weight. He's been stress eating for sure.
Well, it looks like he might be doing a little lifting too. I don't know. He looks like he might. I don't know. Just have to carry all that on his shoulders when he's like.
Yeah,
Maybe
Monster Energy drinks he's drinking.
Yeah.
all that sugar.
Yeah.
Mm.
So now this is the part I wanted to talk about real quick. Okay, so these are Evocati PTU must fix priority issues that they aren't preventing the release, right? Because we have the release. But these are issues that they are currently tackling in the build to get the next stage of Evocati / or even go to PTU. Right? So these are things that they're having the Evocati, which we're not going to get in specifics so nobody gets in trouble. But these are the issues that they're trying to do this. Apparently that they've found, once again, like CIG, whenever they get on a string of something and they find the community responds to some of their community content, they tend to expand upon that, right? They continually to go a little farther. It's kind of like the Big Benny's meme. When Big Benny's became a meme, they just kept it going forever because it worked well. Well, because the burn down's working really well, it seems like this is going to be their new process of how they're going to address what they're currently working on as far as issue related and give us those behind the scenes looks and those things. Because it's quite honestly probably a little easier to film because all they have to do is film some meetings, edit it up, put it together, and then show us that content. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
I like it though.
I don't mind it. I want CIG to remain agile in their content. I don't want them to keep trying to go, oh, this works, we're going to just keep doing this. You know what I mean? I just want them to keep that in mind that I don't think that we're always going to be able to do a burn down all the time, because everything can't be a burn down. Because with the Delta patcher, it should change the dynamic of how the builds come out to us post this going live. Right?
Hope so.
Yes.
I hope so. If we have a burn down after 3.0's live, I'm going to be a little disappointed, to be honest with you. Because to me, the burn down, as much as I enjoy it, I feel like this format was, okay, this is the emergency. We're trying to give you guys the most live, real updates about what's blocking us from getting to the next build. There should be no blockage to the next build when you're done with the current build and you're just pushing out content and fixes. You know what I mean? It should at some point get to where the whole show's about what's coming up next, or what this is next, or the next feature, or the gameplay stuff. Because my concern is to take focus away on the gameplay and the game mechanics that we're supposed to be rolling in at a more rapid rate now, right? I mean, that was a huge blocker all year. This was supposed to be the year of game mechanics, and right now we're about, I'm not even going to say we have one, we're about to get one. It's supposed to be more and more of that. I don't want to have half episodes of the blocker show. I want to hear about, I want to alleviate and have the discussion on, this is mining. This is the dynamics of mining. This is what you will be doing mining. This is what we're thinking about mining. These are the tools for mining. You know, things like that. You can do like 3 weeks episode on the next gameplay features. So hopefully that's the direction they start to go. And once we're done with live, or we have the live build, we'll get away from this. Because I feel like it's a stopgap. It's kept us entertained for now, but I think it'll in 4 weeks this will start to irritate the shit out of me if we're already after the thing and we're just like showing graphs and stuff.
If they're still doing it, but in 4 weeks we're able to, they extend it to the standard PTU, I don't know that it'll annoy people too much. They'll be like, yeah, okay,
maybe,
and then they'll go watch streamers.
Yeah.
Right. If it's still in the Evocati and there's, then maybe, I don't know, but I think they want to,
if it's still in the Evocati, fine.
Nobody else knows what's going on. So they kind of want to see, here's the progress of the Evocati. This is why we have them. Right.
And that's what I'm saying.
And I think that's what they're going to do for the extent of the Evocati. And you may be right. At the end, when it goes to the PTU, they may not show that kind of stuff any there. It may be different stuff, right?
That's what I'm hoping. So, and I'll even go farther. I'm talking post live. I really want to get away from this after live. They
need to end.
Yeah, because the problem is, and I'm not saying they aren't planning to, because I don't know. I'm not CIG. But I just know, and you guys have probably seen it too, historically through their community content, they tend to hold on to something. If they find a format that they think kind of works, they drive it to the ground. Like they'll do episode after episode of this, and we're like, yeah, I don't know, and I think they just I really want to move forward on more about the game mechanics and not necessarily just mining. Let's look there's so many game mechanics that they've talked about and features they've talked about that are coming up. I want to get my head out of Blockerville. Lived in Blockerville.
Would you want to get it back to the studio status reports on a weekly basis?
I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that format again,
rather than the burn down, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think they're not going to continue with burn down after the Evocati.
Yeah.
I think that they are going to probably they're not going to do studio updates right away.
No,
that's
I don't.
Not going to happen. They're because they've got CitizenCon, right?
And
then after CitizenCon, they've got the anniversary show that's coming up, and then
which
after
they usually
that,
do a big presentation.
So I don't think that they'll do anything new. They may put a couple in updates on a weekly basis, but I think mostly they'll be. It's not going to be like they're not going to go strikingly new in format until probably the beginning of next year.
Correct. And to be fair, if they went back to the studio format, I'm okay with that, but I don't think that's even necessary. I really don't, because I think sometimes different studios, the way they have them working on different aspects of the game or they're working the same feature, I don't think it's that relevant. I want to see more featurettes on game mechanics, like them discuss, focus on this game mechanic, because that's what they started to do with the current build, and that's fine, right? They're starting to do that now. Like the second half is like, this is about turns. Cool. I want to see more of that. I want to see more of that, and even stuff that's not they're not currently working on, but what they're thinking wise on this, like economic things, like Let's talk more about trade. How's the trade system or taxes? Let's have a 15-minute deal on how taxes will work for players. How is it going to work when I trade you different things, different theories on that? You know, get that stuff out there. I know why they're hesitant to on some of it. They're hesitant to because they don't want to get that pushback from the community on stuff that we don't like, right? Because we rip it apart on a lot of things.
Well, but also they don't want to do it because anything that they say, remember, even if they say a little thing, everybody's like, "Oh, you said this.
That's
it
gospel.
must be exactly this." Right?
Yep.
And so they don't want to get in there. They'd rather show stuff like they have been showing, not necessarily like the turret thing, right?
Yeah.
Yes, there is a game mechanic there, but it's not like it is one of these set in stone. This is what you said it's going to have to be. Like, of course, they've talked about, and we've talked about this on previous previous SpaceBro shows about the death of a spaceman and how Chris Roberts said, hey, it's not changed.
Yep.
You want to know about that? The document is there. It's not changed. A lot of people are unhappy about that, but I like the idea of having permadeath. I'm a very big fan. I mean,
I don't have a problem with permadeath at all. There's questions I have about how it's going to be implemented. You know what I mean? I think it's more about I don't want to tear apart every game mechanic. And I am fine coming from a world of EVE Online. I am fine with a game company like CIG or somebody telling me tough. That's what it is. That's the world I came from. CCP and EVE just tells you tough shit.
Yeah, we did this.
That's our plan. This is the way we're doing it. If we see an issue with it, submit your issues, and we'll address it later if we think it's relevant enough. But the one-off complaints and crybaby and being a vocal minority shit, they're like, yeah, whatever. We don't care about that. CIG is a lot more responsive. You know what I mean? They're getting a lot more responsive to those things.
You gotta look at the way that CIG gets their money versus all other game companies, right? That changes the dynamic of the relationship between the company and the player.
It does.
If there's a big enough whiny group that is really, like squeaky wheel gets the grease, those of us who may be satisfied with it, with a mechanic or with something in the game, you got to get in there and you got to fight for what you're satisfied for to keep it, because otherwise CIG will listen to the whiners and they will change something. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you have to be vocal in like your support and stuff, but not hateful. People have to understand everybody has a different vision of what Star Citizen is to them personally, right? But we have to also be open to listen to each other. And with the you
got to learn how to be a part of a community and treat you with respect. So stop being whiny little bitches.
That's right. Or we're gonna oust you and hate you and ban you. No. As long as you guys all have my exact opinion, you're fine.
Yep, exactly. As long as you think exactly like me,
there won't be any issues.
Problems here.
That's right. I do think they're going to keep this through CitizenCon now.
Absolutely.
Oh, no, they will. Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Because they're going to be busy and focused on getting that thing, squared away.
I don't fault them for that.
I don't at all.
I don't fault them for that. If they have something, it is working. If they keep it through CitizenCon, my guess is they'll keep it through CitizenCon because the Evocati will be going at least up to CitizenCon.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, CitizenCon is on the 27th. The Evocati's just started yesterday.
Yeah.
So, it's we've got three full
weeks.
testing weeks.
Yeah.
And that could be, that's on the low side of an Evocati finishing up. And it's kind of like there's this crunch time going on, right?
Yeah.
On the one hand, the devs and everybody is, all hands on deck working together with the Evocati to make this, to fix bugs, to get this stuff out the door. On the other hand, it's all hands on deck to get all of that stuff ready for CitizenCon, all the presentations and all that, so it's a lot of work.
It is.
And so, something is going to give. So what is it? Is it going to be that Evocati lasts longer than maybe it normally would if they didn't have to focus on CitizenCon?
Maybe.
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 Right?
Yeah.
It's very
I'm
possibility.
okay with that though.
Well, and I am too. Not just because I'm going to CitizenCon, but that's because that's the expectation. Things have to be done to get prepped for their CitizenCon events. Things have
There's
to
only
get done
so
for all
many
stuff.
people doing so many things at CIG, and
Yeah.
if one person is doing something special for both Evocati and CitizenCon, what do
Absolutely.
you think they're going to be pulled off to do?
Yep.
CitizenCon, without a doubt.
Especially,
Like I said, I'm
especially within the
totally
last week or two, it'll be 100% that way.
So my
Right.
guess is that they could probably get the Evocati all the way done and out within 2 to 3 weeks if it was no CitizenCon at the end of the month,
Yeah.
right? But it's just a matter of
It really depends. I think the big thing is going to be the Delta patcher. See how effective they are with the builds. Are they
Yeah, I
like,
could be
okay, we got
completely wrong about
fixes?
this, you
Yeah,
know?
and we don't know because this is the first time we've had this new patcher. This could be
it's
like
the first time they have had that new patcher out with citizens. So
That's right.
This is all new to all of us.
it could
including
be
them.
it could make it very rapid response. It could not impact that much, especially if the fixes don't come quickly. If they test and they're like, we don't know, and they're just keep back and forth with things to try to resolve them, it could take just as long. But if they have lots of fixes
Right.
and they're able to dump that data to all the Evocati quickly, we might see it even fixed more rapidly. We don't know. We don't know
Right.
until we go through this first week of Evocati. Really.
And they've been using this internally for a while, though, a long
Yes.
while.
Yes.
So it's good and it's ready to go and it's
Yeah.
working as intended.
I'm sure
So,
the tool's good. It's just about
Yeah.
that feedback with the community because we have some of the same issues the Delta Patcher won't mitigate, right? And we know they're going to be there. The same thing from me being in the PTUs. You have critical reports, right? All the reports, all the different type of things that come in from the Evocati. If they're not clear, if they're not stacked correctly, if people are upvoting the right issue council things, all those things, you're going to have the same human issues that you have in every build. Now, if they can find fixes, though, and identify the proper issues at the proper time, and then they can generate a build once or twice a day, those builds will go out and you won't have as many Evocati or, say, even when it goes to PTU, players going, oh, I'm not downloading 32 gigs because it's a very short incremental patch. It's not going to be a full client reload every time with the Delta patcher.
Yeah,
So
but you also got to think with all this new stuff that they've put in with 3.0, there's a new crash handler too that's looking for exactly what's causing these crashes.
yeah.
So these guys are getting better information than they've ever gotten before. So
Yep.
they're
And
going to be
and
able
they've-
to get those patches out.
And
a
this
lot
is all they've
quicker.
been doing for the last 6 months, right? All they've been doing is like crash hands, so they've got it down to a much more oiled machine. All they're doing is growing, from their perspective, their QA team. They just increased their QA team by what they say, about 800 members, according to what they said inside ATV. So they have roughly about 800 plus Evocati, and they just look at like an expansion of their QA team. And so if you are Evocati out there, make sure you're please handling your issue council reports correctly, and you're actually looking at identifying existing issues and adding yours to it, not just trying to put your name on your own shit and going, oh, they'll figure it out. Because it's a lot easier for a dev to go through and look at an issue voted up by 60 people that is a similar issue than it is like, oh, there's 60 separate of the same issue. Don't make them do that, guys. Go through and do that work for them, because that's part of the reason you're there. Same thing when it goes to PTU. We definitely need to do that. And we'll be, when the NDA is lifted and it goes to PTU and I actually have access, we'll be doing the same thing. We choose 5 issues. We try to identify them, reproduce them inside the stream, and then we show you the proper way to report to Issue Council. And if you haven't seen any of those, please go out on YouTube. There's lots of other streamers and content creators who have made examples of that. Make sure you know how to do those things properly, because it is important, and it's going to make it come out faster. You don't believe me, but I'm telling you, I've talked to many devs, and that's the one thing they've told me that would help them make it identify bugs easier and more quickly if the person reporting would just take the time to group them with other bugs instead of just like, hey, I'm my special snowflake, and I want to tell you about my special bug that is not really different, but I'm going to word it differently so it appears like it's its own issue. So make sure your issue is
they
unique.
think you get something
do it that way.
for that.
You don't.
Because
you get nothing.
You don't. Yeah.
To the devs, and they've said this on multiple occasions, if you had one bug of your own and 75 contributions, that's just as good as having 75 bugs of your own.
Correct.
If they are good contributions and helping to pinpoint issues that are, bugs that are important, and you're clear and concise and you provide pictures, that's important, screenshots and, this is how I replicated it. I have the same bug as him, but I did it differently, and this is how. That kind of stuff.
Yep.
Do that stuff because that's important to them. They don't like that, like Mitt's saying, they don't like to see, 17 of the same stupid bug. Every single one of them is worded differently in the title, but they're the same damn bug.
And it's not even necessarily what they like or don't like. It just wastes their time, because if they have to go through and go, oh, this one's exactly like this one, and then group it together where you could have took an extra few minutes to do yourself. It's just saving time.
More time for them to parse through these. And if you think about it, remember the bugs. The bugs that get 10 contributions or more are the ones that get noticed by them. So if you have 17 all with, this one has 3, this one has 7, this one has 4, this one has 8, this one, it's stupid because not a single one of them gets recognized by the devs. They should, because you all together aggregate have way more than 10.
And they prioritize the ones that have the most reports first.
Yes.
So if you want to be a special snowflake and make your own separate, if it is a unique issue and it is not like the others, absolutely report it on your own. Do that thing, all that. But if it is like the other issues, aggregate and stack on those, contribute to those. If you talk to some of the best people that tested in this game, like Bear of the Red, who's now so happens a CIG employee, he went through and he didn't identify his own issues. He brought up data and everything on everybody else's stuff, and just made sure he had thorough reports and scientific method on actually making sure he identified the bug, properly allocated, and all that stuff. And I'm not saying it would ever land you a job with CIG, but they appreciate that a lot more because it helps hammer it out.
Dude's got a PhD in paleontology and was a college professor.
Yes.
So,
he did science the shit out of every bug.
Yeah, he scienced the shit out of it.
He took it to task.
Hey, CIG just hired a real scientist.
Yep, absolutely. And if you have questions, guys, remember exclamation mark questions in chat, and we will get to them here in just a little bit for sure. As far as like the content and all the other stuff, like what you're asking about is the current build playable on? If you've never played Star Citizen, there's lots of shit to do. If you played Star Citizen like I have for the last year on the exact same build, you might get a little bit burnt out on certain aspects of it. And it is buggy. It's an alpha. It's going to have problems, but we've had the most glorious moments even in the alpha than any space game I've ever had in my entire life. And if you play with friends, oh my God, it's that much better.
Falling back in your chair, laughing out loud.
Oh my God.
Moments that are just like you're busting a gut. You're sitting there
if you're out
breathless
in space
after.
And you just open the doors, like facing partial sun with the planet, and you just look at it, you're like, holy shit, And people can say, oh, Elite Dangerous looks better, this, blah, blah. I don't care. If I'm walking around my spaceship, like I can't do in any other game, and I open the side of that caterpillar door and the sun's there, I could just sit there and look at that forever. It looks so good. And this is an alpha. So keep that in mind. All right, moving on. As we were. Let's talk about turrets. So turrets have been an issue. Now let's talk a little bit while we freeze it on him. I can't remember his name. He's awesome though.
Kimbo Slice.
No, it is not Kimbo Slice. Although he might punch you like Kimbo Slice whenever you called him that. There you go. The thing about turrets, in my mind, was one of the biggest, and still remains in 2.63, the current live build that we have, the biggest brick wall or blocker for multi-crew in the entire game, because it is the available multi-crew feature of the game right now in our current live build before 3.0. That is multiple turrets, being able to control those panels and do stuff and work as a team on a single spaceship to centralize fire on another ship. And they're terrible. And we've known this for well over a year. I mean, it's been almost 2 years with the whole deal with the turrets and all that. It's just been terrible, terrible, terrible moments. And you especially as a new player, I've gotten so many new players that have jumped in ships that I have or some of the other guys have had, and they get up there and they're just so excited to get into that thing on your Retaliator or your Connie, and they're just like, they get there and about 2 minutes later you hear them over comms, they're like, I can't hit shit, I can't do anything, and it's just discouraging. It's gotten to the point that these multi-crew ships that have multiple guns on them, most of us solo pilot, right? Like the Connie and everything else. We pilot by ourselves because nobody wants to be in the turret. It prevents a multi-crew opportunity that we have all longed for. So thank you, God, that CIG is addressing this. This is so important, and I don't
Turrets
think...
are important. Turret gameplay. There's a lot of people out there who don't... They think that turrets are absolutely unnecessary. They need to be taken out of the game, other than robotic, right? And the problem what I have with that is that, while yes, 900 years in the future probably will have all automated AI controlled turrets, they probably won't even have humans in weaponized spaceships out there. But that's not the point. This is a game, damn it.
Yeah.
It's not about that. This is about people getting into ships together and having a good time. This is about being able to have those stories about all the guys out there, fighting off, an attack wave after wave of Van Duel, and then limping back to port, and all being able to go into the bar and have a virtual ale while they all crack open a real beer and sit back and go, oh my God, can you believe what we just experienced? That's what it's about. It's not about this. Is it real? There is a bit of realism to this game, but they have to do certain things that give us the gameplay.
It's the balance of realism versus fun. But again, cool. Again, the fact that the current turret play has been so poor up to now, it's been a huge blocker. I mean, because so many people could experience multi-crew today in a way that they've never been able to if turrets had been fixed. They're addressing that. They're working on that. They're making them more responsive. And while we don't know this will be the ultimate solution, this could just be one of many iterations of what they end up having to do. Just based on what we see in this video, it looks so much better. We have pips, we have pings, we actually have responsiveness. We have different types of fire methods on the turrets. We have where we're not going to shoot through or blow up our own ship with them. All sorts of aspects to it that they're really diving deep and showing that they're spending a lot of time making sure that they're addressing these issues that we've had up to now the best they can. And I can't even express how important the gameplay is with this, because while I agree with you, Urban Nerd, there's a lot of people that I know people in chat are saying nobody wants them removed. No, there's been a whole thread post about we should just take them out for now because they don't work at all. And I don't agree with that at all. This is a huge part of gameplay. This is awesome gameplay for you to play with your friends. And if they can fix them properly, it'll change the whole dynamic of what it means to actually go up against a Constellation or Retaliator versus, hey, I'm a single seat Hornet. Like a Super Hornet or a Hornet can destroy a Connie by staying on his ass because there's no way for him to defend himself. But if you have those turrets that actually work, there's more fire arcs that all the little ships have to deal with when they're giving and griefing a larger vessel. And that's the only thing that's going to make Javelins, Idrises, all these other ships function correctly, is to have this stuff. We don't want fully automated turrets all around the ship. 1 or 2 is okay.
No.
But the main thing is you don't want it. This is a multiplayer game. It's not a multi-AI game. You want people. You want those things. So
no, people want the human aspect removed. They still want more guns on their ships, of course.
Yeah.
I see that in chat people are saying people don't want them removed. Yeah, they want the human aspect removed. They want to. I just want to automate it. I don't want
some people
do.
There, not a ton, but there have been
not a
whole
ton, but it
threads
is a very
whole thing.
That because I remember before they went over to Spectrum that I would participate in the forums, and it was just like, oh my god. Also with the people with if the view is terrible, you need to completely change it. I want a bit, and I kept making fun of them and posted pictures of like bubbles.
I remember one thread I got in on, and this has been over 2 years ago. That was like person wanted a third person aspect of all turrets, and that's how they wanted to operate with a pip out floating in space. And it was like, no, what? This is a first person perspective game.
Yes.
You can go third person for cinematics, for fun, but you're supposed to engage the game in a first person type aspect. That's the way the game is meant to be played. Everything else is a photo opportunity, which I agree with. I love the director's cam and all that stuff, but it's not meant to be played that way. And third person cameras on turrets, I'm like, nah. I want to be able to be the guy who, if a guy's operating a turret, I could EVA up to him with an explosive charge and put it on the turret if they're staying stationary and blow them up. I think that'd be fun.
Yes.
So,
yeah, it is. It's World War II in space.
It's supposed to be World War II in space, yes, because they want that type of dynamic to it. So,
World War II intermixed with the Cold War.
Correct. They want the tech, but they want the style of fighting to remain in that type of genre, so that we have.
They want it to be Doctor Strangelove in space.
That's right, because they want people to man the things, not computers.
That's right. They want you to get on those big freaking bombs when they drop them. You know, weehaw! Write it down.
Absolutely. Yep. So I mean, the whole aspect, and this is another thing. Another thread I saw today, talking about the turrets, was the fact that they talked about the interrupt system, and if you know how they're talking about where the pip will move up and over and it won't allow you to shoot your ship and those type of things. I don't know, and I hope that's something they change. I don't like that. And I'll tell you why.
Yeah, I like the ability to shoot your own ship.
I do like the ability to shoot your own ship, but I think it should be an override on the turret that I could choose to. Let's say I get into a large vessel and I want to damage it. I want to be able to Luke Skywalker this Jabba the Hutt floating barge.
So like G-Safe.
Yeah, I want to be able to point the guns down the ship and fire at it and damage the ship I'm on just intentionally because maybe I took a part of it. I think that'd be cool. But yes, have a mode where you can G-Safe it to where instead of where the pip, you'll see him here where it goes up, why not just have an interrupt? Why not just have it go red X like you can't fire there? I mean, they had that tech even in World War II where the machine guns would cut off a certain thing so you didn't blow up your tail rudder all the time and things like that. That tech is not new. I don't think you need to change the whole thing. So, I mean, while I agree what they're doing, I just hope they change it so it's not, because I think it's really disruptive for me to see the pip go up every time I go through I just want it to X hey, it's not going to fire here. So this is my opinion. I mean, they can do it however they want, obviously it's their game, but I like those dynamics, and I'm super excited about having these things back on board to where if they function the way that they're talking about, you'll have a reason to ride with me. I'll have a reason to ride with you. It won't be like, hey, as long as I got one guy manning shields and I'm driving, I'm good. I don't want the Connie to be a dogfighting ship. I don't want, I want these bigger vessels you need crew to man these positions to do things with them. They're not just there for looks. So that's the way I look at it. Oh, man. So what do you guys think about what you've seen on, at least from the videos and stuff, about the turret gameplay, how it looks, or how you think it's going to feel? Do you think there's probably, it's something that looks better than what we've seen in the past? Do you think it's something that we're going to have to kind of address and adjust? Drones? I want to know drones
I like
first.
the alternating. I like being able to switch it so that the guns are firing in an alternating way rather than both firing at the same time. I thought that was cool. What I'd like to see too is maybe a way to have 3 different speeds as well, right? So you could say rapid. Yeah. So maybe they're alternating, but they're firing way faster, or they're firing slower. So have 3 levels of speeds too, so that you're not overheating. At the lowest speed, it would be a lower rate of fire, but you could be just ham-fisted on your gun, and it will never overheat because it's firing at a proper rate. That it won't overpower, but it won't overpower the cooler that is with that, right? So you can have 3 different levels, but one level will just be like, and then the next, because I would love to be able to see that option, not only the alternating fire for the guns, but 3 different speeds, right?
Yep.
And that's something they can handle with components too.
Yeah.
They can add components to do that. So put another little module in there that says, okay, you're making this gun do this kind of firing rate.
Right.
And you can put a different module in there And it has advantages and disadvantages.
Right.
depending on how much
The
power it
faster you
drains
fire,
and
the
stuff
quicker
like
it
that.
overheats.
I'd
right?
like to be able to load
And
out different
the
guns
more
on
damage it does to the barrels.
I want to
Yeah.
see I want to be able to do 2 ballistic and 2 lasers, like on four gun turrets, stuff like that. Drones, what do you think about the turrets? What do you think that where they're at?
I'm really impressed with the way they look. I'm the wait and see mentality, but
Yeah.
also by the same token, being a gunner is probably the last thing drones are going to be doing.
Yeah.
So as cool as it is, it's not like I don't get super stoked about it. I am excited that it looks like it's going to be right. So at least I'll be comfortable riding on a ship where, I've got turret gunners that can actually do something. The turrets we've been used to were legit. If you hit something, you just got lucky.
Yeah.
It wasn't you were great. It was you got lucky.
Yeah.
That's just my straight up opinion on it.
I think
I don't know. It was weird the way it was.
I think the larger the ship you get into, the more relevant, the more fun the turrets will be, because you'll see an impact, especially if you go like javelin v javelin and you're doing like broadsides. I think that's going to be really fun to see, like actually impacting the other guns and the side of the hull and stuff like that. Whereas like some of the smaller ones, I agree with you. I feel like up to this point, it's felt like you're doing very little to nothing. But now I think if you can see here, it's like the Cutlass is panning to the left, and the orientation of the turret's staying where the actual gunner wants it. So that is pretty exciting to me, because that means I'll actually have a chance to hit something instead of like every time he wiggles, I'm having to make major adjustments. So I think that's going to be interesting to see if it works that way when we actually get our hands on it. But like you,
I hope they give us. I'm a big fan of the lead pips, so I hope that they give us that well, because I don't like those lag pips as much. Yeah, I hope so.
I think so. I think it'll be the same option where you can choose lead or lag. I mean, they should have that across the board on everything, you would think. So, but yeah, I think it's going to be a huge aspect to it, and it doesn't just in fact guns too. You have to think about. They haven't seen them yet, but when they start adding in the missile turrets, right? Because in order to if you can keep your orientation, you're going to be able to lock in a lot easier and tag an enemy ship with missile turrets too, because you just have to keep them in that zone, right?
Right.
So
I think the one problem that I have with the turrets right now that I think they might want to revisit is that getting stuck at 90 degrees up, right?
Yes.
That is a real, for me, that is a problem. They shouldn't just go up and stop at 90 degrees. There should be a little bit, I mean, not all the way, not a full 180 degree
like a
arc,
110 or 120.
Yes,
top,
something where then you got that little bit of extra, but then you have to turn to follow, right? It's not like you're stuck at 90, because that hard stop at 90 is a bit harsh. I think they need to change that.
I'll tell you what I'd like. I'd like them to hold the 90 degrees, but I want to see a different orientation panel for the pilot. And this is what I'm talking about. They talked about you'll be able to tag all the enemies now with the turrets. You'll be able to tag. You'll be able to put pips on them where, say there's 4 fighters coming in on your constellation. You can tag them 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see which turrets your partner turret is firing at what. So you guys can say, focus primary 1. That is huge, where I can put more fire on a single target from all my gunners to actually damage it. But on the panel for a pilot, you know how you have your ship damage matrix where it shows your shield status? Or you can see your radar where you can see all the things come in. I want to see the 3-dimensional ball come up of this is the profile of my ship. Here's my guns, and here's what they're doing, and here's the enemy moving. Then I can orient my ship for my gunners to hit the targets that they have locked. So that way, if I have, like, say I'm flying a Retaliator, and I have 2 gunners, right? I have 2 top gunners, and they're actually sitting here and they're fighting. If a ship tries to come over the top 90, I can see that dot go across as long as the gunners have them locked. And then I can start to nose down to give them plus 90 degrees on that the whole way. So they're going to be able to stay with that target. The same way you would do like in an old Navy ship for a broadside, right? With the anything in
Right.
the Renaissance or the Colonials, you'll be able to sit there and it's like you had to come around. Sure, your cannoneers had maybe 5-10 degrees leeway either way on those guns inside the actual hull of the ship, but I'd have to come about 5 degrees, and I'd have to communicate that because that promotes more team gameplay. And I think be able to have that type of visual on it with the assistance of the gunner for radar would be amazing, to where I could see. It's almost like, I think they had that in the original Star Wars, right? When they brought up their little
Right.
pseudo radar, you could see the area, the ball would come around of where all these ships are coming in from, and you could try to just orient your ship so your gunners had a better aspect. I think that would be amazing. That would be amazing. So,
I like the whole idea. I like the idea of maybe turret itself being a ball and the gunner himself moving and shooting and not and yeah, you know,
you'd still have to orient the ship a little bit because at some point you're going to
Yeah.
hit your ship again instead of that. I think being able to work in tandem with them. But see, you can't shout
Yeah,
out,
you
he's
do
above
need to
me, he's
have
above
that.
me. Yeah, you have to have that, but I think if the pilot just has a visual, he won't have to be shouting back and forth about which way to turn the ship. He can kind of see where the fighters are
pilot
coming
can
out.
do like a pancake slide and keep his guns oriented on what he feels is dangerous ship, and just remember, don't fly it like a fighter, damn it.
Yeah.
You know. But that actually requires the pilot to understand. And see, this is the thing. I got into huge arguments. Oh, the turrets are sick. And like, actually, even now, with as bad as the turrets are, if you pancake slide, if you do some really good, I mean, you can make it so that the turrets are useful. But if you fly like a potato, well, of course, your turret gunners are going to suck because you're flying like a complete turd.
Yeah, you have to expose them to the target. If you can't expose
That's
them
right.
to the target,
You
then
know,
they're not going to be able to
they were like, I shouldn't have to do that. Like, are you kidding me? It's like,
Yeah.
I want to ride a bike, but I shouldn't have to pedal.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Yeah, so, I mean, that's the kind of thing that I think is, they just kind of, you know, people got to be able to fly their ships better and stop complaining that they can't, you know, like, yes, the turrets are broken at the moment, and hopefully this next generation of turrets that we're getting with what they've showed us in this ATV will really up that, you know?
Yep.
I think it will.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You don't threaten me. I had to silence him for a while. 3.0.
Besides the fact that you don't have 3.0, so
Yeah, I don't have it. So, boop, 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 boop. All right. So we're going to go ahead and start to get into the question aspect of this in just 1 minute. I want to know, though, ahead of time, what your guys' weekends look like, what your schedules are going to be like, when people can find you, what they can see, all that good stuff. And we're going to start with Toy this time.
thanks. Right when I'm stuffing in my
I know. I thought it was
face.
perfect because Uber was really prepared to say something, and you were totally not. And I was like, "Oh yeah, toy grubbing."
Now what I
So
need to
good.
do, I need to turn this way, open my mouth, and then have Toy throw it one down at
Yeah.
the corner and have my daughter hiding over here. No, it's not. I have no chip. 'Cause I
There's
have
no
my
chip to
daughter,
work.
like, throw one at the same time.
Well, it would be hilarious if a toy threw a chip and it came out like it was a huge chip, like a whole bag got thrown at you on your screen.
Yeah.
So it's like one chip goes in and like 20 comes out. So, we need to change the bandwidth. Something's wrong
You also
here.
need to time it so crumbs fall on Dr. Drone's head.
Yeah, like,
No, you don't.
we'll get a slow tray above his head that like starts to get crummy on his top. It's like, God damn it, toy.
All right,
Well,
so what you
I'll
doing,
be
Toy?
streaming Conan this weekend.
All right.
We have some bases that I've found because I'm out every night looking for these guys where they're hiding and stuff and blowing up their bases. And I found some amazing hiding spots that some other clans that have left the server have hidden their bases in, and haven't had a chance to get in there and break in and check those bases out. But some of them are like in underneath the map in spaces you're not even supposed to get in. So pretty cool bases though. So that's what I'll be doing this weekend. As far as times, I don't really have a set schedule. Most of the time it's at evening, late night. So just follow me on Twitch and you'll see.
There you go. Mr. Drones.
Probably gonna stream some Warframe later tonight.
Cool.
6 o'clock tomorrow, I'll be live with Star Citizen. And over the weekend, I'm planning to work on getting some stuff for the IRL rig. Just little things that are left, like I need some tiny zip ties and stuff. Damn it, toy. No, I need like a little zip ties and shit just to hold glass, counterweights and stuff like that. But nothing too crazy this week.
Cool. So definitely we'll be checking you out to see what you got going on with the War of Frame. Mr. Ubernerd. What do you got?
Yeah.
Tell it. What's going on?
Well, I'm going to be starting my stream like I do every Saturday at 9 a.m. I'll go 9 a.m. till I get tired. And then I do the same thing on Sunday, 9 a.m. until I get tired. So Sunday is not normally a day that I stream, but this is the 3.0 to Evocati hype weekend. And don't ask, because I'm not telling you about it, except for the Evocati has it. Woo! And they are going to be doing as good a job as they always do, which is a good job. And we should be hearing from the devs about the progress. Every time the devs talk about the progress, I will talk about the progress. So never ask me, because I'll never tell. But what I will say is that I'll be doing some giveaways tomorrow and probably on Sunday as well. So
absolutely. And I'd say if you guys want to know how the Evocati are doing, the best place to ask is probably in Spectrum, because if a dev is cleared to and feels like he wants to, that's where you'll get those type of leaks and information on how things are going and how things are looking. Get it from an official place. Don't stress guys out and be trying to ask them for stuff and trying to get them to slip up and all that. I mean, you guys seen most of the content from Gamescom, to be honest. I mean, there's no reason to be going crazy about that. I mean, just, they'll work through their stuff. We're going to keep releasing anything we see, because I don't have to worry about it, because I'm not Evocati. No NDA here.
Yeah. I used to work for Microsoft. I know what it means to not let things slip.
Yeah, Reddit is a great purveyor of showing crap that's true and not true. So sift through the bullshit, and then you can figure it all out there. So I know on our stream, we'll be strumming it up tomorrow afternoon for sure. We'll probably get started, I'm thinking probably around 12 or 1 p.m. CST, and we're going to be hammering it out. We're going to be playing not only Star Citizen.
Time is it? My time.
Your time, I'll start about...
That would be 3 p.m., right?
No,
perfect, because that's about when I'm going to be ending my stream.
I'll be starting before 3 p.m., because if I start at 1, that's 11 a.m. your time.
3 p.m. my time, not your time. Noon. Oh, you're central?
My times are all screwed up. I'm central. Don't math me, sir.
That's two hours. Okay.
2 hours difference, yes. You'll be still into yours, and I'll be doing mine, and it'll switch up.
I'll host.
I'll
send all these crazy nut jobs your way.
Yes, you will. I know. It'll be awesome.
With the bacon.
With the bacon, yes.
With the bacon. We love it when you deliver bacon. There's nothing better than bacon at 2 or 3 in the afternoon. It's about the perfect time that you need some nourishment, and you just step up.
Any time is a good time for bacon. Let's be real about it.
Absolutely.
I know, right?
But no,
in fact, I got bacon.
We'll be doing PUBG. We'll be doing some Star Citizen. We might be playing another game or two. I might even step it more into some Shadow Mordor, because we just got the preload for Shadow of War that comes out on the 10th. That's going to be hot. I don't know if we're going to play some Star Wars Battlefront 2 or not. I'm kind of I don't know. I was so disappointed with the original stuff. I do kind of want to dip into it, just look at it, but it's just not. It's not really.
I watched a couple of clips,
or just.
They got a beta out of that.
Old engine.
Well, they got new content to it. You're flying out in space a lot more, and they got some more spacey stuff, and that's why I was kind of
that maybe. looked pretty fun, but it looked also like it might be really on rails. So.
It's pretty on rails. It's very console based. It looked like almost like what you're flying. It's going to be a gamepad type jam if I do that. Yeah. But we'll see. We're definitely going to play some PUBG and some other stuff, because PUBG. And on top of that, we are very close to unlocking our two Noxes. We have to hit our 250 subs to do that, though. And we might have a couple early giveaways. We are currently at 226, so we only need 24 more, and we can do the thing. Now, they have to be fresh
Not
subs
bad,
to
not
grow the fam and do it. Yeah, and then if we get up beyond that, we'll have some more stuff. But also, as a reminder, me and Toy are still having our beer bar off, so we are trying to raise funds to see who's going to be the beer lackey, I guess is the new term. So that's right. It's gonna be Toy's gonna be the beer lackey. He preempted that too much, right?
No.
I saw him doing this, and I switched
You
it on him.
changed it.
I
You
changed
changed
it. I did. I called it audible, baby. You got to be quick-minded in this mother to do that. Let's do this thing. All right. Anyway, so when I win, Toy's gonna be getting my beers, and it's gonna work out beautifully. So we got to keep that thing going. And then additionally, guys, we still have the gift card giveaways. We're going to have a lot of cool swag. We only got 12 days before we leave on the trip.
It's so close.
Well, 12 days before I leave. Toy will see me at like that morning.
Yeah.
And then we'll be going. But didn't realize like the parties all start on Thursday. There's like two parties on Thursday night already that conflict. It's crazy because we got the partner one, the Discord one is going too, and then we got there's Bar Citizens every night, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that's gonna be crazy.
And now's probably a good time to mention that there's that SIG panel on Sunday.
That's right.
For Star Citizen.
CIG.
So a lot of people I didn't know until you mentioned it
That's
earlier.
right. CIG snuck in on us. Well, I didn't know until Jay Lee told me yesterday. He's like, oh, I'm on a panel.
That's
I'm like, you're on a panel for what? He's like, oh, Star Citizen's having one. They snuck it in there last minute. Sunday at 2 p.m. at TwitchCon, CIG is doing their own panel on Star Citizen, talking all about how their game and how they interface with the community and give the behind-scenes look on AAA game and how that means. So I think it's going to be interesting. You're going to see a lot of cool Star Citizen people there. Unfortunately, that's the same time I'm currently scheduled to do the Intel stream for them, but we are seeing if we can have some wiggle room on that. I don't know. I'll have more updates or not, but they snuck it in after I scheduled that. I was like, you can't sneak it in last minute, but apparently they can. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty good and pretty fun. But again, guys, this month we have over $700 worth of giveaways going for our team. So make sure that you're going over.
Crazy, guys.
Yeah.
It's freaking crazy.
!500 in chat will get you over there to enter that as well. So you can get a $500 gift card for Amazon or Star Citizen. And you can get the beautiful giveaway for our team. That's a $100 Star Citizen gift card. And you can enter for Uber Nerds Super Special Racing Pack giveaway as well. That's all on the same page. 3 things. A lot of crossover stuff on them. Click all the buttons. Make all the things happen. Pretty awesome
don't hold back. Give me the reach around. I mean, click.
Getting the clicky. Anyway, all right, to questions, my friends, to questions. And if you have questions, make sure that you put ! questions, get the link, put them in there, and we will try to address them during this phase of the show. And then after this, we will draw the $10 gift card giveaway for that. And then we'll do a nice host to somebody. So... Veclor asks, an ATV turret reticles. I can't say it.
Reticles.
There you go. Will now avoid your ship to prevent damage. Does this mean we can't shoot those pesky pirates trying to board our ship? And should small turrets have a toggle option? Toy? What do you think?
No.
Okay. Drones?
Yes.
We won't even let Toy elaborate. That's going to be his final answer. Okay? Uber Nerd, elaborate.
14. What was the question?
An ATV. The turrets will allow you... will now avoid your ship to prevent damage. Does this mean we can't shoot those pesky pirates trying to board our ship? And should small turrets have a toggle option?
No, so I think that there would be, you know how back in World War II, you had like these little slides that you could open. Well, you don't want something like that in your ship where you need an atmosphere or something like that. But it'd be nice where maybe like on the front of a tank, they used to have small machine guns, the big old tank gun, and then you'd have a small machine gun to take care of people. Well, maybe they could have a smaller, just a basic personnel weapon that's in, fixed in the turret, but specifically for taking pirates off the surface of your vessel. No, they should not make your size 4 turret weapons to be able to shoot your pirates unless they're coming at your ship. But shoot them before they get on your ship. Don't be lazy, man.
Yeah, I think that you should be able to, and you could use them all there. But if you take that safety switch off, you risk damaging your own ship too, because a person's body is not going to stop a size 4 projectile round. It's going to go right into the hull of your ship too. So if you really hate the guy, that's fine, but just take in mind you're going to be probably blowing part of your ship off too.
But here's the problem with that. So say you get somebody that sneaks on your ship.
Yep.
All they have to do is jump in the gunner and shoot your own ship. So
I think it should be permission based. It's an electronic item. It's like all your crew has permission to get on the ship, board the ship, or operate the turrets. If they hack it, they should be able to get in the turret and do that. If they don't, then no. I don't think you should be able to get into a javelin turret without a command card. Like, you are the gunner assigned to that thing, so you have a permission to operate gun number 3. Because then, think about these big ships. You have 100 crew members. Everybody's like, oh, I'm going to go fire gun number 4 for fun. Get up there, and it's like, pew, pew, just hitting stuff. They hit an NPC carrier or something. Next thing you know, you got the UE all over your ship because your gunner decided to shoot them. No, we need people with responsibilities. That's right. I think that they should be assigned, but I think you should have the opportunity to cause mayhem. I do believe that. I love the opportunity of that. And on a smaller situation, like on a Retaliator or a Constellation, if you want to shoot the pirates that are trying to board your ship off the airlocks and you have the angle to do it, sure. But again, you are going to hit your ship too. If it's preventing you from hitting that player because he's like against the hull trying to open the airlock, and you shoot him, you might just open that airlock for him. You might kill that one guy, but you might just let all the others inside. So you got to make those choices. I love choices in game, be it smart or stupid, and I totally promote people making stupid decisions because it's freaking hilarious. So
as long as they benefit me, I'm all for it.
And make me laugh. It's all good. All right. Next question from Spaceship Training Wheels. I like that name. What are your thoughts on the mentions of Squadron 42 in the monthly report? Personally, I found it somewhat shocking they're still hiring concept artists to do work on Squadron 42 locations.
You know that there are 2 more full-on Squadron 42 games coming out after this one, right?
And the next ones are going to be heavily planet-based than this one. This one's going to be all space. Next one, they can actually have...
No. The reason why this got delayed was because they're going to have at least one planetary mission, like a retrieval mission or something like that. So they did add the planet tech into Squadron 42. This is why it is one of the big reasons why it got delayed. So, but you're right. I think that the next one coming, and I've talked on my stream before, I think it's going to be like this one is going to be, we're getting pushed back. We're getting pushed around by the Vandal. We're losing.
Well,
right.
Also,
we're going to win the battles, but we're going to be losing the.
If you look, like Phantom Killer added in chat too, one of the guys who's working in that department left the company, so they need a replacement because they're still making small changes and stuff like that. I don't think we shouldn't take it as, hey, they don't even have the planetary surfaces yet. I don't think it's that. I think it's just they need those artists to do some final touches. They need those artists to do those things. We don't know what stage of overall development Squadron 42 is in, but we know the complete mission set's done. We know a lot of the scenes are completely done. We know the story's been done for years. So
they said they had everything but the cinematics. That was it.
And as you know, the cinematics would involve more than likely a high poly concept artist because those guys don't do gameplay like we just heard in the last episode. They don't do the game mechanic polys. They do the beautiful backgrounds, the cinematics, the things you see, the stuff that Jay Lee does. Jay Lee makes the beautiful. Jay Lee doesn't make the working game picture. The working game picture comes from the other artist working on it to make it actually function and work in the game. Jay Lee's department is to make the smexy before it gets there. So, just to do that. So, yeah, it's going to be 3 total episodes is what they're going to be doing.
And each one has 28 missions with several side missions that accompany each one of those. Well, the first one we know has 28 missions, and there are lots of other what they call side or secondary missions that you probably don't have to complete the game.
And if for anybody played Wing Commander, how many add-ons do they have to those things? I mean, lots.
There were so many side missions that you could do. You didn't actually have to do, but if you did them, you unlocked this special relationship or this special medal or something like that. You know?
And I'm not saying that they don't need it for the current one. They very well could, and it could. This Squadron 42 could still be more than a year out. I have no idea. But what I'm saying is they need somebody to fill that position to still either mitigate current stuff or to be prepared for the next stuff. And they need a person hired to do that because they are always going to need those cinematics. They're always going to need those type of things, not only for that, but think about for the advertising rollout of the game.
Yep.
I mean, you're going to have a whole nother set of cinematics and mini movies just to do that. That's a whole Chris Roberts thing. That's what he does. So,
yep.
100%. All right. Next question. Time to speculate. What do you think they're holding for us for CitizenCon, and what do they need to show us for it to be successful? Uber, what do you think?
Wow. Well, there's got to be. They've been really quiet all year long. Really, I mean, other than what they smidgens of this and smidgens of that, Squadron 42 has to be shown in some aspect. You know, something's. You know,
some sort of update. Some sort of update.
We need to. I mean, you know, something's got to give, right? And the game changer ship, if it really is an exciting game changer, that's definitely going to cause huge buzz. You know how most of the Star Citizen community are a bunch of nut jobs who love spaceships. So
I resemble that. No, I think that you're on the right path with a lot of that, though. Drones, what do you think, buddy? For Citizen,
I would like to see the game changer for sure, whatever that may be. I don't really think they can terribly fail because, I mean, a lot of it's going to be 3.0 show off. You know, it's got to be. But as far as what else they could put on the table, I don't know.
Yeah.
No idea.
Okay.
I think, and I hope to see, is a lot of the 3.1 stuff that's coming in, like mining. Yeah. I want to see the actual working mining. Because remember, it's not just a press a button and you're mining. No. It's a whole mini game you're playing.
There's an entire design document on just mining. Yeah,
exactly. I want to see that actually working, and them actually doing it.
And that's what I hope too. I really hope, you know, I don't agree with Drones. I hope that they don't show anything 3.0. We know what 3.0 is. It's beating the bush. We know what to expect with that. If they do that, I feel like they'll get a lot of negative feedback. I think so too. CitizenCon needs to be the future look. And it doesn't need to be, hey, this is what's happening. They need to show the demo of mining. They need to show the demo of what's going to happen moving. Show me a demo of what you think, even if it's just an animation of, medical. Any of these future game mechanics, they usually showed the roadmap or talk about it at least for what's happening now. That's what they did last year. Even though the time frames were whatever, they need to just talk about the path, not necessarily when.
That demo last year was stunning.
Yeah, the demo
Lear 3 was amazing.
Yeah, it was really good.
You know, the oceans and the trees, and even though there was only one type of tree, but the grasslands and oh my god, and then the desert and the Tusken Raiders. I mean
they do need to show. They need to give us an update on Squadron 42. I don't necessarily think it has to be. I don't think it has to be a vertical slice. I would like to see the vertical slice. I don't think it has to be, but it definitely has to be more than like here's a teaser 30-second video. Squadron 42.
I don't want to see a teaser 30-second video.
It's got to be something more involved than that. And I would even go so far to say that I want to see a full 3 to 5 minute movie if they're just even going to go that, like something.
I think
like a Star Wars trailer.
They should show just one one mission, one full mission.
I don't, you know,
there's-
and that's
Well,
fine.
so
I'd rather
wasn't
see
it that
a
the vertical
full-
slice?
The vertical slice was supposed to be a section of almost every element of type of gameplay you would get in Squadron 42, not necessarily in sequential order, but like here's flying, here's you doing infantry type stuff, here's you doing management type stuff. This is
And
you
it
in the
wasn't
cafeteria.
supposed to show us any of the actual missions, but it was supposed to
And
be
not-
a mission.
That's right.
That represented Squadron 42.
That represented the game mechanics in Squadron 42, so that way you got a feel for it, but didn't spoil the story necessarily for you. In that case, I'm okay with that, but at minimal, I would like to see a Star Wars major feature trailer style, like you would at the movie theater. That's one of these 3 to 5 minute. Oh, here's the thing where it's like gives you that dynamic. Like, holy shit! Look at all this, and just I want to see that type of scale of trailer on it with an update. And then if they ended it and said like spring 2018 or whatever, I could deal with that. I could deal with that. But for me, the most important thing is to us to move beyond 3.0 and show me that future look. And don't just give me a goddamn outline that says mining, and then we're going to do south. I'm like, come on, give me a little more. Give me a little more of that. Come on, baby. A little bit more. Just show me something. Even if it's just an animation thing, like, they take the time to draw the Cutlass and do this like car show body style pan around. Show me like a guy mining and say, okay, and then he's going to be, he'll do this, and here's him getting it out of the hold, and he's processing here. Here comes in this other ship that picks it up. He's taking back the process. Something like that I'd be cool with. I want to see that to give me the vision of what I will experience when that mechanic comes out. I think that's the thing we've never gotten. We've gotten a lot of dialogue back and forth on it. I just kind of want to see it to make it tangible, to set the expectation of what direction they're going with these mechanics. We have the docks, but this is the same problem from everything from the Death of the Spaceman and that. I need to see it in continuity. How does it work? How are you, CIG, visioning this working as a mechanic? Death of the Spaceman. I want to see, okay, I made a mistake. I died. I got jumped, whatever. Okay. Do I have the option of like beaconing out and calling an ambulance? Do I wake up in a medical facility? What's the process of me like giving a contract to somebody else? Do I leave an heir? Is there a funeral? What? I want to know more. I want to know a little bit more about the direction, so I know as a player what my expectation level should be.
The more you know.
You know what else would be cool?
What's that?
Is they teased the sandstorm coming through. But I'd like to see pretty much like the Soled, but for weather patterns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's something really I am so like. I talk every time I go into Area 18, and I do this a lot. Every day I go in as a precursor to going into the verse. I go to Area 18, wander around, and I talk.
Yeah.
I go and look at some of these alleyways, and I'm thinking, wouldn't it be just freaking amazing just to stand there and watch rain pouring off the sides of the building, just like this mist, because the rain is so thick and you can barely see. And I would just love to see weather.
And
and I agree completely, Toy. I do.
I think that's fine, but I feel like that's ATV shit to me. That's a small aspect. It's cool. It adds fidelity. But like even what Coffee Horse said in chat, refueling. Can I see the refueling mechanic? Like, what are you thinking? Yeah. What are you thinking that's going to do? Let's flesh it out a little more. Plus, this CitizenCon is going to be the first one where they open the doors hours before the presentation and actually let us down into the floor. They're going to have booths where you can kind of interact with them a little bit more and do things. I think there's lots of opportunities at this one for us to dive in and do some more things. And you're going to see go up in a thread this weekend for us on our Discord. Do you have questions for the devs? We're going to start compiling a question list for CIG. If we get the opportunity while me and Toy are out there, we'll hammer out some of your questions to them. We will. But we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. Yeah.
You know what else would be cool? And they kind of, I don't know, I think they subliminally hinted at something. But with the QA on the X1, somebody asked about the building in the background. And they're like,
oh yeah,
I've been saying this forever. Mm-hmm. When they do those cities and stuff, they need to have buildings for people to have houses in. That would be cool. Yeah. That would be a money sink for them. That would be Because what are you going to use all those credits on besides
Yeah.
buying ships and components and weapons and stuff? You need to have other stuff for a good, diverse economy. Rent
There-
on a building like that would be awesome. That would be a good
there
money
are
sink.
people who I have, who are in my stream who really want to partake in, that never want to be a pilot. They would gladly buy a game package that included an apartment and then just run around the planet. I mean, these planets are going to be huge. If you got 15 developers on a single planet that had like Terra Prime, think of a city of that size, and you're just sitting there and you're making missions of where Private Eye wants you to go and investigate this theft ring that's happening on the west side or something like that. I mean, they could make Terra Prime be as active as GTA, like LA or whatever, right? Or Vegas, or you know what I'm saying? They could make it that detailed on a single planet. You could get people who might never leave that planet and would be just they could be completely engrossed in all of the politics and the stuff that's going on, the street crime, the police, the local police, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you could find people so involved in these tiny little, well, to us being somewhere in another solar system, thinking it's tiny, but when you get there, you realize, oh my God, it's so complex. I mean, that's the kind of thing that people are hoping that we get, and that's the kind of thing that with the mechanics that they're putting in is a very good possibility. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I would love to see that level of detail.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
because then smuggling really becomes a good option for stuff on the planets too.
Yep.
You
Then
control a
becoming
seedy area of a city. You
Yep.
need to get your stuff smuggled in. You know.
Yep. You got to get past customs somehow. You got to be able to build up reputation with certain people in certain cities and it's just I want to be able to be that complex where the crime syndicates are there. I mean, that they've got hints of that on the website already. When you make your organization, right? You could be a syndicate, you could be a corporation. They got all of this, and if it's there for us as players, you know that they're thinking of all this stuff out there for the NPCs, since they make up 90% of the verse.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Next question. Titan armor. What should they be used for gameplay-wise? Do you think it is a mistake from CIG to alter them to be usable within ships? Or should they be effective in some very specific strategies, niche gameplay, so that you don't get to... Oh, I got cut off. So you don't get to expect to see them in every situation. So what are your guys' thoughts on Titan armor? Why don't we start with Toy on this?
I don't know. Until I see it in game, it's hard for me to make,
Which I think it's delayed right now anyway. I think they've they've delayed Titan armor too. But it is a good conversational item still. Drones, you got any thoughts on Titan armor at all?
I'm not a fan of that stuff. I mean, I know a lot of people love it, but like, it reminds me too much of played PlanetSide and introduced BFRs, which were effectively Titan armor PlanetSide, and it just kind of changed the game in a really not good way. It made it so that infantry was just like, "Hi, I'm dead."
Yeah,
and
it
I don't want that. I do want it to be an upgrade, sure, cool, but there's got to be some limits, and there's got to be some weaknesses to it that we as ground infantry can exploit.
Well, and it's interesting, especially in this game, when you have the heavy suits, and then they go Titan armor, so now you'd have light, medium, and heavy, and then Titan. It's like, I don't know. I mean, it's going to take very careful balancing. I agree with that. Uber Nerd, what do you think?
So I actually like the Titan armor, but I think that it needs to have very specific limitations. They were talking about, oh well, we had to put it aside because you couldn't turn around in hallways. Sorry, but it shouldn't go in hallways.
No,
it should be an outside only. It should be an outside only weapon. You don't take a tank on a stealth mission crawling inside of a military base where you're trying to snare. No,
but I got to use the
bathroom.
I don't want to get on my Titan armor.
Bash your way in, right?
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to turn around in hallways. You should blow things up and walk through walls. You know, or stay outside and do the work that needs to be done out there. The Titan armor is for shock troops. That's what they're for.
It should be
They're not for sneaking around hallways. So the whole idea that they had to put a kibosh on it for now because it couldn't get through the hallways is just, it's silly, because that should never be a design consideration for that. Yeah. I like the idea of having shock troops, of having this Titan armor for that purpose, but trying to make it that's like the whole idea that everybody got up in arms about originally with the Cutlass, right? Oh, we wanted to do all things.
No, it's the same.
They should make it like super expensive too. Not like everybody's just going to go out and get it.
It should be limited. I agree with Urban Nerd. It should be limited usage and expensive, because you can't put money as a caveat to getting something, because people always conquer that. I've learned that from Eve in every game. They don't care how much it costs. If you can use it to be OP, they will. And we don't want to make a game where everybody has to wear Titan armor. I like having it only external. And on top of that, think about this. If they can't turn it in a hallway, how do you transport the shit? Are they going to go back and redo all the troop transports so you can wear Titan armor in them? No.
So remember if you look at the Tavaran dropship, right?
Yes.
Imagine having to attach the Titan armor to the outside where you can crawl in through those those like hatches on it. So maybe that scout or that dropship could carry like 4.
I think you should have a specialty dropship. That's the only way you can get it there. Unpackaged.
I like that too.
Just like
I'm thinking an Argo variant that carries 1.
I'm thinking Edge of Tomorrow, where it's like a Redeemer or a Tavaran dropship that brings in a group of 6. Or you have to have it cargo packed up in SEU, assemble it on the ground, and it's outside. And you have specialty stuff for it, and it only stays outside. The only way to bring it indoors is to assemble it together and put it back in the box, and that's it. I don't think it's something that should just be like, hey, I'll just walk down the street. Oh, look, that guy's wearing Titan armor. I don't want it to be that way. I don't want this to turn into like WoW, where you have everybody's wearing like the highest elemental gear everywhere. Make it limited where you can even put the shit on, where you can have it at. And I think that will make it more useful in battlefields and other areas. But if you try to like bring this into an area and there's UE there instead, they're gonna like, bro, just like you're bringing a shotgun over around our city, you're not gonna wear Titan armor into my city. We're gonna mow you down, because like there's just no way. It's too strong. It's powerful, and you're not gonna use that. Now, if there's a loader variant for picking up cargo or something, which again, I see that, but I think it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of lame. I'd rather just use GravPad or something, but whatever. If you're going to use a loader and go aliens on it, and it's meant to be a loader and stuff like that, it should be very non-moving, very robotic, and very like I can pick up things and move them, but I'm not going to be agile enough to do anything like combat-wise that matters. That's going to be an upgrade armor only to be used on exterior stuff. That's my opinion. So, that's my opinion. All right, let's see. What's the next one? Veclor asks, he says, how much difference does turret placement make a difference in terms of G-forces? For example, if a pilot blacks out, will the rear versus forward gunner black out and not all the continuing fire? In a Hornet, both pilots should black out at the same time. That's actually a very good point.
No,
that's a really good.
So it depends, really, because there could be, depending on the spin of your ship, there could be a reason for the pilot blacking out where the turret gunner maybe doesn't in a Hornet. They're very close together.
What about the reverse situation?
You're still in a situation where if you do a spin where the pilot is absolutely flipped up too fast, but the turret gunner goes all red but doesn't black out, the pilot blacks out, right? So there could be something like that. But in other ships, I do see that as not everybody's gonna, and remember, it is physics based. Okay, so they do have those numbers going in. So it's not just like some sort of RNG that determines whether you black out. It's actual physics that they have in the game that's determining this. So
I don't know. I think that's a great question. I think from the outset, it should just be where the centrifugal force applies and causes a person to black out right now to try it. But I could also see a situation where people troll the shit out of somebody and they make their entire crew black out by grabbing the pilot seat and they just spin the ship until everyone flows up against the walls and like blacks out. So I don't know. I don't know what's the answer in that.
How could somebody get into the pilot seat? We know that there's going to be permissions that say, no, sorry, you don't have permission to get in the
And that's what I
pilot
hope they do with the gunner seats too. But we all know people leave them open and might not use their permissions correctly. It's happened in every space game I've ever been a part
And
of.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
As long as the permissions exist. If you
Correct.
don't put them on, well, that's your problem.
That's your problem. You made that choice. You wanted to make it
That's
all
right.
free willy-nilly. Maybe you lock your shit next time. Yeah, I think that they'll just have to try it out because it's going to be part of the aptitude. Again, I support the pilot having influence over the gunners in that aspect. Just like we talked about orienting your ship so your gunners could hit a target correctly. The same thing, if you're a shitty pilot or you don't give a shit about your gunners and all your gunners black out because you're trying to be, a dogfighter in a Connie, then you're probably going to have a lot of pissed off guys if they even wake up at all.
Hey guys, what do you think about this? So I was thinking about this. We're talking about permissions. We're talking about all the different stations on a ship. It would be nice, like if you look at the Caterpillar, they got 4 stations in the command module, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the engineering station. So one of those stations is not engineering, although you could probably have an engineering station there as well. But I'd like to say, wouldn't it be nice to have like a security station where the guy handles all the permissions for the turrets, for all the stations.
Yeah.
He handles the permissions for the doors, the locks, everything. On a bigger ship, the bigger the ship,
Yes.
I think an absolute dedicated security person is absolutely necessity.
I
Absolutely.
agree.
How about
Idris,
take that a
Jav,
step-
all the stuff you need that.
Hey, a Caterpillar, come on. You don't have to go to
take a
Idris
step
size to
further.
still
You
need
got-
a dedicated security person.
You got a
Caterpillar.
security officer to keep him entertained. How about give him some type of mechanic to counteract somebody trying to hack those permissions?
Like an anti-hack type thing. Like one guy solving
You
the
know,
Yeah,
in the Caterpillar,
yeah.
every single one of those doors has a door keypad on it, right?
Yeah.
That
Yep.
hopefully eventually will be able to be locked, and even more like right. I don't know what they're going to do with that, but eventually it'll be probably lock or unlock. But then in the lock, in the final version, might even have a keypad where you can put in like a 10 keypad or even
Yeah.
smaller, but where you can put in a keypad to unlock it or to have different sections of the ship require different levels of security. And then, of
Caterpillar
course,
is a 4-person
Yeah.
transport ship. If it
Four-person.
was a security ship or a fighter, some kind of fighter ship, Polaris, definitely.
The
But
only
the,
way-
on
the
a-
Caterpillar is an 8-person ship. It is an 8-person ship.
I don't-
It's got 4 seats in the
No, it's got
command module.
8 beds. It's
Yes,
got 8 beds.
But it's
got-
Yeah,
meant
but
to
it's-
detach too.
but-
So
the command module has 4 beds and 4
Yes.
seats, but the in the downside has some extra beds.
Has
but
4
that's just
beds.
for like maintaining the cargo and stuff. That's not like really command module stuff.
I'd say
you know
it's
what I
one of
mean?
those minimum like 2, maximum 8, maximum 10, something like that type ships where the maximum capacity of the ship is only supposed to be limited by all the beds. So I would agree it would go up to 8, but it would be like a minimum 2-person ship because you want somebody to
but
drive it,
either-
somebody to co-pilot.
you could never run.
Either way-
you could never efficiently run a Caterpillar with 2 people.
Sure, you could.
cargo.
Why couldn't you? Because you land in a port, they
because
unload it
the
if you pay
instant
'em.
you get attacked, you're done.
There's-
instant
It's
you
a
get attacked,
cargo
you are
ship.
done.
You're
It is a
done
cargo
anyways.
ship, but you need to defend it.
yeah, but you're
You know,
not
if you
necessarily.
get boarded, I mean, there's all kinds of things. It is
Yeah.
a cargo
Well,
ship, but
But we have to remember
As
it's
a
also
cargo ship, you're not always defending yourself. You might have a fleet with you whose sole responsibility is
if you want to man every station in that ship, you have an engineer, you have a co-pilot, you have 2 dedicated other pilots, and they have 2 gunners. So technically, I thought it was going to be like 7 to man every station, but you have an 8th man. That way, he mans the cargo. Because I think it's pilot, co-pilot, 2 reverse pilots for the other 2 seats in the command module. Then you got 2 gunners, and then you'd have 1
2
guy.
reverse pilots.
What? 2 reverse? That was the 2. You see, you have 4 in the module, right? 4 in the command
Yeah,
module.
but they're
There's a pilot, co-pilot, and then there's 2 like navigation.
And then
seats
there's
in
2
the back.
guns. That's 6. then you have an engineer station downstairs, which actually is a panel if you kept an
and
engineer
then the
down there.
eighth person is the guy who goes around and maintain the one dedicated engineer in the.
Yeah.
But then I would say that the other person would be like the sub engineer, would go around and do the repairs.
Probably do that and maintain the cargo holds and all that stuff just in that combat situation. But my point is, it's also a modular ship. So where I'd say you don't necessarily have to have a security officer, I would say if they make the modules, because I thought about this, what happens if the Caterpillar had modules to be a prison barge? Wouldn't that be cool? You could change out the modules. Then you might need a security officer to maintain all the cells and all that stuff and everything else too, and then also disperse between all things. So I think the security officer would double as the sub-engineer and in what we're talking about there. He would be the security guy, but he'd also be the engineer because he'd probably run that same thing there. But those panels would move in between their consoles because I don't know what the other two guys on the command module even do. Your pilot, co-pilot, your co-pilot manages shields. You have your gunners going. What's the two jerks in the back doing?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we don't know any of the roles that are in the. If you look at the roles that are in a lot of the, I mean, you've got engineer, you've got security. Lieutenant Worf, right? I mean, security is.
And Worf, I love Worf from Next Generation, but he got his ass kicked all the time. He did.
Aside from that, I'm talking about the position, not necessarily the.
I know. I'm just saying.
Necessarily the person. But. So you got security, maybe there's communication / navigation. I mean, who knows? Or a science officer.
And you can flip your terminal over to other stations too.
Ships,
yeah. And I think
somebody scanner operator, somebody who
and
really
some of those
because the scanning mechanic is supposed to get far more complex.
Yeah, but
right?
if you're taking your Caterpillar out to go scanning, you probably got to.
No, you're not taking it out to scan, but you're also going to have to pay attention to what's out there because what if you recognize it's like the good sonar operator who can recognize, ooh, that seems kind of weird, and it turns out to be it's a Russian doing a crazy Ivan or something like that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like you want to be able to have. I mean, yes, you are not a dedicated scanning ship, but if you don't have somebody who is on your scanners and paying attention to these, ooh, this pattern, I recognized this before. Oh, that was a stealth kind of thing, or some sort of
warfare. Again, it's up to you, but the main thing is your minimum capacity on the ship. I would say that you would minimally want to run if you're not going to really be defending yourself or anything like that. It'd be 1 to 2 people. Optimal crew would be 4. Maximum crew would be 8. Is what you're going to be because you never want to have more crew than you have beds. Because they said that it was also representative of the oxygen regeneration units inside the thing. If you start loading too many people, you're going to start running out of air, and you have nowhere to save your people either because they need a bed per person in order to actually log off. So
remember, when you log off, like say for instance, you have 8 people on the ship, or let's say you have 9 people on the ship. Yeah. If you log off, you don't just disappear. You don't crawl into the bed and then disappear. Your body stays there.
And as long as that 9th guy's on, you're still in that bed sitting there. So,
So then he sells you to the Banu slaves, and
Absolutely. And as a couple other people posted out, like Official Kyle said, he said reading the leaked stuff like that. It's like shield management, mission systems. Power management or legitimate tests. Yeah, some of those things are double duty though. Like sometimes your energy emissions and your shield guy can handle the same thing. It depends on the situation, the complexity of this type of ship you're in, what it is. Because like if you're down to a fighter, he has to handle all of it. If it's a 2-person thing, your co-pilot handles probably priority shields in combat, maybe running more scanning duties and stuff like that when you're not in combat. Different elements of that will just expand with your crew size. But the most interesting aspect of the Caterpillar for me is the fact it has the ability eventually, not yet, to detach the command module, leave these different modules in space, load them differently, and actually have different replacement modules where they talk to everything from salvaging type modules to possibly medical bay to all sorts of things. So it's kind of a catch-all type ship. I would like to see everything from prison transport duty to, some sort of little science thing, maybe a research lab. Maybe it's a full beacon ship where it has nothing except ejectable beacon modules and it just goes around and deploys the largest beacons out of the thing. There's so many possibilities with it. They could keep the Caterpillar going forever and just make us buy modules.
I thought you said bacon ship. Okay,
yeah,
I got excited for a second.
They could eject bacon throughout the entire verse. It'd be amazing. and it cooks upon re-entry. It's going to be really cool. It's like raw bacon just
crispy.
going down. It's like extra crispy. So, but yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of opportunity there for different positions and stuff, and I can't wait to explore more of that. That's why I got my Caterpillar. Next person is named I Make Up Stuff. And he asked, will there be a decent group mechanic in 3.0? We're hoping.
No,
I don't know.
We're hoping.
I don't think so. They have not said anything about that. They're just, right now, I think they're just getting people in the game and on the planets and in space. That's it.
But they did.
Okay, so here's
didn't
the
they
thing,
mention
guys.
that you'd be able to group warp at some point, or they were talking about trying to
Not
do that?
for 3.0.
The group, yeah, and remember, the group mechanics are going to be more of a function of your systems in the game, not necessarily some ephemeral kind of. It's going to be based on the Mobiglass apps that you have. It's going to be based on the.
But you can party, can't you? I mean, they talked about
Well,
wanting to be able
yeah,
to
but
do
they've
party
talked about
system.
that in the past, right? Where they
Yeah.
want to move to. Right now, the party system is like every other game, right? You just
Yeah.
join a group and you're all part of the same group, and you have that private chat and all that kind of stuff. But that stuff's going to be different. They
I guess
don't
it
want it to
depends
be.
on what
They
mean
want it
by
to be
group
more.
mechanics.
They want it to be more that your Mobiglass, you say, okay, I want you guys to be a part of my, and I can make different kind of stuff appear over your head or something like that to, like avoid friendly fire situations. There's gonna be a reason for it. There's gonna be the way to mark your friends versus your foes. A lot of the communication is gonna be like, you'll be communicating privately over your Mobiglass, not in some magical floating text box.
This is true, but I might be taking the question wrong, but I think they were referring to just like when they say a decent group mechanic, is because our squad mechanic right now doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I think they have, we don't know if it's fixed, but they have tried to address it. According to the patch notes that were leaked out, they have tried to address the party mechanic. Again, there's many more mechanics like what Uber Nerd's talking about that are planned to make it more fleshed out and do more things. But right now, if we can actually get into the game together without struggling to make that happen, that's a good first step.
Right. I think that's probably the only thing they're.
That's enough for me to start with, because I just want to be able to get in with my friends and play.
But I don't know. I wouldn't know.
If I could get in and play with my friends, that's the first step. Next step's making the stations work so we can actually do something together. So,
okay, first I have to make friends, then I can get in and play with them.
Yes, absolutely. And unfortunately, I have a real problem making friends while I'm in the game already. I don't know why. I like the pretty explosions.
Yeah.
Drones.
Yeah.
He keeps giving people gifts. Here, hold this. Boom.
Yep.
Why don't you want to be my friend?
I
Keep throwing grenades at me.
Yeah.
I just want to hug, man. That's all.
Here,
Yeah.
hold this.
That's all.
Keeping it real says, does Uber wear his wig in the morning?
No, I only wear my wig in the
There
go
you
out and I'm on the corner.
There you go. That's when it was the heels too. You should get those shots. Send nudes. Spaceship Training Wheels says, do you think SitCon with focus more on post 3.0 Stanton locations or entirely new planets? I think they're going to have a planetary focus.
I think that they will do what Drones was saying, 3.1 and beyond, a little bit of sneak peek stuff.
That was
or not
Mitachi.
Drones, but I mean what
Drones.
Toy was saying. Sorry, Drones.
It's what everybody was saying, but Mitachi, it's fine.
All right,
Let's go.
take my credit, Jones. Thanks,
Yeah,
buddy.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
But absolutely.
That was my fault.
There you go. But yeah, I think they'll focus on it in entirely new planets, everything 3.0 and beyond. I think we'll see all that stuff. That's usually what they do, and I think we'll get the game changer there too,
We've seen lots of
which will be a construction ship for
white
building
box
bases.
stuff for Hurston, for Microtech, and have we seen any white box stuff for Stanton? I know we've seen white box stuff for Lorville, which is on Hurston, right?
Yeah.
And then New Babbage, which is on Microtech. And then, oh, crud, what's the one that's on Crusader? Shoot, I forgot the name of it now. Anyways, we've seen all three of those, but they have not shown us any white box stuff for the new stuff on Stanton, ArcCorp. No new ArcCorp stuff. So I'm thinking maybe they'll show us that because it's supposed to come out in 3.1, right?
But remember, they just said not too long ago that they were still working on the tech
Orson, yeah.
to make the cities modular, so they didn't have to build them all by hand. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure they even have that tech for cities done yet.
Maybe not, but I think they've worked on the cities.
I think they
Well,
fleshed
some
it out.
of them
I think
already.
they're much-
Yeah.
Yeah, we've definitely seen white boxes cities
Yeah.
before.
So I think
Yeah.
they
But-
have some done, but they're going to have to go back and convert all those to modularity too.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
yeah, we'll see what happens.
That's what I was getting at.
yeah.
There's going to be a lot of bespoke stuff that they'll probably bring in. I'm assuming. There will be bespoke sections of like ArcCorp, like Area 18. They'll still keep a lot of, even though they do the vast majority of the city, where they can paint it onto the surface of the planet. There will be these areas which they go in and handcraft, right?
Well, also remember that, and they've even said that you're not going to be able to just explore every part of these cities. It's going to all be, you're only going to be able to stay in certain areas of these cities for now. Maybe later on they'll open up more sections later, but it's very limited. The areas are going to be able to go into cities. Now, I have seen the white boxes where it says, okay, like from Area 18, you could take a little subway and go to this other little section of the city, and it'll be open there.
Area
And
17.
whatever they call it. But, and as you go on your little tram, you'll be able to see cities, but you won't be able to actually go over there and walk around on the streets and stuff. So it's going to be all pretty much.
Yeah, but they didn't say that though.
Oh, yeah, they did.
When?
It's been a long time, but they said
No,
you're only
they
going to
said.
be
Brian said if you
limited in
can
the
see
cities.
it, you can go there. Brian Chambers said if you can
Write
see
it on the note to give to
you can
Mitt,
go there.
and I will verify it.
Yeah,
on
we'll
camera
talk to Brian
while we're
in
at
person. And do it.
CitizenCon.
But I think
Yeah.
I know
Please
that's
do,
not the
because
case.
no,
I
I
know
know
that's
that
not the
Brian
case.
Chambers said he was asked this question about cities and locations. He said if you could see it, you can go there. So I'm pretty sure that
What
they've.
you can't fly there, and you can
But no,
go
you
there,
can't
but you
fly
can't
there,
go.
but-
But like right now, you can't do it in Area 18.
Well,
Right.
but Area
But see,
18.
this is
Right.
what they said. They said they did not want to open you up to go to all the cities and have, after a while, every building look the same.
Yeah.
That's why they were restricting you to certain areas, because that they can change up so it's enough different in these areas. But if you go through an entire city, every other block is going to be pretty much look the same, and they
For
did
right
not
now,
want that.
until they have time to go back there and populate it. But there's no way they'll make
I'm
progress.
pretty
on the
sure
solar system.
I'm pretty sure the intent of the "if you can see it, you can go there" statement was more for like the open planet, not for the enclosed city.
It was a
I'm pretty
question about cities, though. That was why it was
I don't know.
so.
I've heard
It
both
was a
ways on
question.
it.
Brian Chambers was asked about procedural cities. This was last year.
Yep.
And so they may be, I mean, of course they may be walking that back. We should ask them when we go, when you guys go to SitCon, push them on that.
Yep.
I'd need to hear it in context because it doesn't sound like
He was talking
what I
about,
remember
And it
hearing.
also
able to
depends
put
on
buildings-
time frame.
Yeah, he was talking about being able to
Yeah.
put buildings and assets for cities into a bucket and then paint that on to the landscape. That's their goal. That's what they're working on. I don't know how far they've gotten,
Yeah,
but they
I don't-
started doing that last year.
I don't think they'll be able to do that in the beginning. That's just not possible. Now that might be the overall goal. I don't think they'll be able to do that in the beginning though, because with like a lot of other things they're doing. But yeah, I do remember Brian saying something about if you can see it, you can go there. I don't remember the full context of it, but at the same time, I also know that they said they were going to kind of keep, and Ben had said that you were going to be able to go to areas of cities and whatnot, but the same way you can't fly over the whole city. You're prevented from doing
well,
that.
they won't let you. Yeah, they'll basically shoot you down if you refuse to land.
Yeah,
where they
you
tell
have an AOE that you can operate in, and that's the way it is in your ship because they don't want you to do that. Now, around moons and unpopulated areas, it is a pretty much see and go it there type thing overall. Certain areas might be a little more dangerous than others if you fly over them. And some areas, like what we saw in the original demo from last year. If you try to fly there, the atmospheric conditions prevent you from it, so you need to land and
Right.
traverse via land to go across it. But that's
I want to try to go into a area where it says turn back. I'm like, no, let's go see what happens.
Yep. It could happen.
I want to try that in my Javelin.
They
I just want to.
cannot populate entire cities. I am telling you guys right now, they do not have that kind of resources on their servers to populate an entire world with NPCs. I'm telling you, they're going to restrict on those empty moons and planets and stuff that don't have cities. Yes, you're going to be able to go anywhere you want, but I'm telling you, in those big cities, they're going to restrict you to areas.
Yeah, they don't have the tech yet to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, not saying they won't.
That's what
or
the
they won't
object
work on it.
container system is for.
When it works all the way, yes.
Yeah, it doesn't work yet. So.
Yeah, so I know their goals. I think you guys are arguing the same point. I don't think we're going to start there. I think they're going to try to get there, though.
Of course not. Yeah.
But
Oh, I hope they get there.
Yeah,
like I said,
but from the
I want
outset,
to be
they're
able
not
to
gonna
buy an
Yeah.
apartment in a high rise somewhere or out in the countryside where there's houses and stuff. I want to be able to go out there and say, okay, is this one taken? No. Okay, there's a rent for it, you know.
like that, I want to live on my capital ship and be a slumlord. That way, if you don't pay your rent, I can just like nuke your ship, your whole townhouse from orbit, and be like, nope. Oof. There you go. All
Why
right.
not rent a bed?
There. Let's see. What's the next thing? So how? Go ahead.
Speaking of that, before you change the subject,
Mm-hmm.
like the hospital, remember they said you'd be able to allow spawns at the hospital bed?
Yes, permission
thing.
base. Yeah,
Yes.
you can
And
choose
you could charge
it.
people for that too.
You can charge people. You can get permission for your own org. You can set to public and charge people a fee, and then they can pay another fee to have ships delivered there to pick them up and wherever out of the hangar bay.
So
So-
what's the jump from renting a bed on a ship either? There's no jump.
If they, I don't know, if you want to allow that in your permission system, allow a random person to save on your bed, I guess.
Why not? If they're paying.
If you want to, I don't see a problem with it. I mean, if they could trade you money and you set them as a friend and do permissions that way, you could do it. It wouldn't have to be a rent thing. You'd be like, give me some money. Here, I'll give you permission. Sleep in the bed. You know, so that more organic. But then you open them up to being allowed accesses you might not want to on your ship, but that's your choice. And again, I promote people making stupid decisions. So why not? That's the whole thing. If you want to do that, that's the whole thing. Take that risk. You're made a friend, or you're really dumb and you just made a thief. So we'll see what happens.
now I got cooties.
There it is.
Well, I think when these orgs start attacking planets, you're not going to want every single person in a ship. So I think you're going to have your core of your attack fleet, and then they bring in a whole bunch of people like on Noxes and ground vehicles and stuff.
Yeah.
Those people are still going to need beds. So you bring them in on one of those Starliners where they're each saved to a bed.
Yeah.
So that's going to make the Starliner a good maybe money maker. Okay, well we'll rent your clan out this many beds or whatever, and we charge you this much.
But the whole thing is, do they really need to rent beds? Because it's only to log off. So at some point, the battles are going to be a little different because people are only going to stay on as long as it takes them to get back to a bed somewhere. And if a Starliner's sitting out there for a safe spot, I'm going to blow the shit out of that thing up because I'm going to know, oh, well, their forces are probably all saved to all those beds.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But the thing is, though, I think space battles, if it done correctly, could last for days or weeks.
Maybe, but you're going to have a retraction point, right? You're going to have guys in the front lines, but people do have to log off the game at some point. I mean,
so there'll be bases for these battles. There will be these places but they'll need lots of beds.
And
because you don't want to have to fly all the way back to these, like
you'll have to have defenses so your base doesn't get destroyed or taken over or taken away from you, and you have half your army sleeping in it. Because
that's why you have to, that's your own fault. If you logged off
But here's the problem. If they're static bases, they have to be accessible publicly to anybody, right? And if they make it a DMZ, that means you're going to have both sides of an army sleeping in the same beds across from each other, and they can't shoot because it's an armistice zone.
No, it wouldn't be a DMZ. I would say static bases would be,
it had to
good
be
for
flare.
exploration, bad for military. You'd want to have more mobile
You'd
units.
have to have
and,
player-based bases where we bid them up ourselves to make it like really a military option, because then it's capturable or destroyable or
Right,
something.
right.
And then you have to have a guard duty, because if I know,
Yep.
say you live in France and I come on and it's your bedtime, guess when I'm hitting your shit? As soon as it's out of your time zone and you're all at work, I'm going to come in there and blow the crap
Well,
up.
of
and
course.
defeat you.
That's
So-
why you have to have bigger
Mhm.
organizations that can have people on at all times.
Yes.
It is going to require it's going to be a worldwide effort. You know,
Or
You're gonna
very,
have
or
organizations
very
that have
nimble
people from Europe,
organizations.
from Australia
Mhm.
and from from Asia, and so that you can cover the entire planet of time zones.
Or you have very nimble organizations of mercenaries that don't need beds, because we live in space and we just come down and grief those guys all the time, so they never get to sleep
You always need beds. You got to log out somewhere.
in space.
Only robots don't need beds.
In space. That's where I'll log out. In space. All right. How should we expect the HUD to look for group/fleet type mechanics?
Say that one more time.
How should we expect the HUD to look for group/fleet type stuff? Like what type of information do you think maybe the HUD will have on it? Let's go that route with the question. Like, because we have single player, we're worried about us versus the universe versus the context, the enemy and stuff. Do you think on fleet mechanics, I assume, since they talked about this is a good point because of turrets, what they talked about with tags, I would assume in group and fleet mechanics, you'd have ways to tag both friendly and hostile enemies of some sort.
Yep.
Or objects, like let's not even take it a combat sense. Say a mining fleet. I want to tag asteroids. So you two miners work on asteroid 1, or you're assigned asteroid 2, so that way we don't have blowouts and kill the whole mining fleet. All sorts of different aspects. You're going to have that group communication so we can see similar objects, be able to know what's primary, and be able to assign objectives to each other as an FC. And hopefully it's a very intuitive interface, because if you make that part chalky and convoluted and really archaic, it's not going to be very fun. And you have to make it fun to work together.
They could take, say you go in with the fleet. They have your scanner ships that scan, and basically there's going to be some way to know your friendlies from the other guys.
Absolutely.
So
IFF.
Yep.
that information gets transferred to the capital ship, and then the capital ship can transfer it out to everybody that's in on that org or anybody that's in on that flight group. So then basically maybe you'll have a special my mic's cutting out. A special option that comes up on your HUD that shows your battle fleet.
Yes.
And then anybody that's not part of your battle fleet is just regular BIPs.
Okay.
So they could do something like that.
It could be. Could be. I would look for that. I would also... I'm really interested to see how you would have a commander or command ship or whatever tag and identify different objectives and priorities to his pilots in multiple ships and relay that to the overall combat fleet. So that's another whole ATV episode, So there's so many game mechanic things they have. That's the direction I hope they take ATV post 3.0 live, where we see more of these future game mechanics. This is what we're thinking type stuff. So that's what I hope. Not that one. Don't care about that one. I'm cherry picking now because people are being dumb. And it's probably some of the streamers doing it too.
Okay. Theladus just posted something in chat about what Tony Zervik said about the city.
All right. That's cool. Let's see. Here's a summary of what Tony Zervik said. Large sprawling cities will not be fully explorable apart from some expectations due to Tony's exception. What? Quality over quantity philosophy. He wants landing zones to be unique and filled with lots of different things instead of a vast city that repeats itself after a few blocks. So that's what Tony Z said.
Yeah. I can't remember which
I think
where
that
he said it
Brian,
at, but I know I.
but
did
Brian
see
on the design side, as far as actually creating the cities, he's probably right with the LODs. If you see it, you physically could go to it. But Tony's saying mechanic-wise, they're going to limit the exposure where you can go in cities because he does. They want to make it unique, and you have that experience in a zoned type area, much like Area 18 is now.
Remember though
we'll get an answer.
We'll get an answer. We'll
Well.
figure it out. Brian did contradict Tony. Brian did answer after Tony, and I think the reason that Tony said those things was because at the time they didn't even think that procedural cities, especially being able to massage them artistically the way that they think that they can in the future, like putting stuff in a bucket and painting stuff on, moving stuff. I mean, if they are able to, if the Germans, which I'm crossing my fingers to these smart sons of you know what, oh my God, I hope you guys can do it. But if they can do what they've done with planets and kind of like move that up to that next level, who knows? Who knows what'll happen?
And I agree with Barra. He says it still could be a big zone. I think it will be a massive zone because it's going to accommodate a lot of NPCs. But you have to remember when we talk about some of these planets are planet cities.
Right.
And the scale is
one
so
that's going to
huge.
be the problem is ArcCorp.
And 100%. And that's the one that I would think, at least initially, they have to have limited zones. There's no way that you're going to be able to walk the entire planet of city and have it populated with NPCs. It's just not going to happen.
Well, luckily for them, I think that planet is all, they don't have city over, they have city, they said they have city over the entire, all continents, but there's oceans on that planet too, so it doesn't actually
I bet
take
the
up
oceans
entire...
are really nice and healthy too on that planet.
Yeah.
Probably look more like sludge pools.
Kind of gooey.
Yeah, a little thick. Let's see. All right. What do you think are the 4 concept ships being worked on from Foundry 42 UK? I don't have a clue. Probably the
What
game.
do you think, Dr. Drones?
Yeah, what's drones?
Well, the Carrick's in there.
Well, we know the characters in the pipeline.
That's all I got.
So yeah, probably the game changer too.
Sure.
So
Other than
let
that,
me ask
I
you guys this
haven't a
question:
clue.
Do you think there's more ground vehicles in there,
Yes.
or are they all spaceships?
I hope so. I keep begging for an ambulance.
I think there's going to be more ground vehicles. I think we're going to start seeing. We still haven't seen a tank.
We need
No.
cargo ground transporters.
I think we need to see
Cargo ground transport
know-
would be good.
I think we need to see, and I know that a lot of people are going to go, oh, no, I think we need to see civilian cars.
Have a good night, Kamikaze.
Yeah.
We need to see space,
I can agree with that. I can be on board with
the
that.
Jetsons car, but CIG
Everybody
Star
rides
Citizen style.
Everybody rides space bikes.
Civilian cars that are like hover cars.
Just put the baby seat on the back of the Dragonfly. You're good.
But I want to see, I'd like to see like 4-door sedan style, maybe stretched limo, Origin style, but hover car, not spaceship, but hover car.
They still need a food
because
truck.
what are they going to populate their cities with? All spaceships and motorcycles?
They got to have food trucks. That's what I want to see. Food trucks, UPS fans.
Yeah. But so that's kind of my thing is I think that these city civilian transports in cities is something that I'd like to see them start bringing out a car, a couple cars a year or something like that. Or,
I really want to see them put out the interdiction ship and whatever they're going to do for that. I want to see what mechanic and interdiction is going to happen. Even though that's not the game changer, I want to see how are we stopping, how are we interfacing with each other, and I want to see that game mechanic in a ship or however they're going to implement it, which I assume is going to be
I think that's a tough game mechanic, so I think we won't see it until at least the end of next year.
It's going to change the dynamics of how fighting is going to be. It's like so huge. Because it's people will not be able to fight the same way they do.
I think they may wait to bring out interdiction until they have jump points.
Maybe.
So it might come out. It might not even come out until 4.0 and beyond.
That might be the case, but interdiction doesn't really have anything to do with the jump point itself.
Well,
historically,
it might, because
historically,
you won't have any What's that?
I was going to say, historically, interdiction usually does take place between system gateways, which would be relevant to
Right.
the jump point. But interdiction's relevant anywhere you don't want somebody to get away.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I just want to see...
You're out mining, and I want to hold you there.
Yeah.
Good for
Or
interdiction.
the defensive interdiction, which a lot of people don't think about, which we used in EVE a lot. I'm out mining, and I don't want you to kill me. Interdict the attacker and run. So there's lots of different types of interdiction that's both the positive and a negative. If you have a whole fleet of pirates jump on you and you have some means to interdict them just for a few seconds, it could mean the difference between you surviving or dying. So a lot of these things are, it's very relevant because it adds a whole different philosophy of e-war aspect and gameplay into the game. So I hope that's something in there. We'll actually, I'll have a document up tomorrow for it. It'll be on Discord.
All right.
I might actually do it at the end of the show. But for right now, if you do have thoughts or anything, just put it in the CitizenCon part of Discord. But I'll get a doc up there and it'll be pinned, so that way you guys can put this in there.
It's all good talks, though. I mean,
absolutely. I mean,
I love this kind of theory craft. It's always, to me, this is the meat and potatoes of all the good streams on Twitch. It's
Absolutely.
the theory crafting.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see, other ships that they don't sell to that they wouldn't sell to us, we're still going to have an opportunity to steal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So.
And another whole mechanic to talk about is stealing.
Except for the non-human, I don't think we'll be able to fly an actual Van Duel ship. They had to recreate those because just to accommodate a human's form, right?
Yeah, you won't be able to steal alien
the Van Duel
models.
ships. I don't think you'll be able to. They had to mod them. So
or
no
Banu for that matter. You have to have them modified, but to use any.
Yeah,
of those.
you have to have the modified ones, right?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. All right, 2 more questions we got here. What B-list celebrities or other cameos would you like to see for future Mission Giver characters? Like, if you could have anybody else you wanted into the game, what type of, B-list celebrity or actor or actress that you would like to see kind of have some sort of role as a Mission Giver or some other main character inside the game itself?
Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart, that would be cool. I'd like that.
I want to go to a bar and see Miley Cyrus swinging from something on the stage.
God. Jeez, no. Please, no.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, Terry Crews. Yeah, no, right. I'm with Coffee on that. Terry Crews. I love Terry Crews.
Terry Crews would be
Terry
good.
Crews, if you ever see this, go to Stars and go to CIG. Get in the game.
Get that mocap. They'd have to get you a bigger suit. But
somebody clip that and give it to him. Make it happen.
yeah, he has a Twitch account and a YouTube account. Gosh, who would I want? I don't know.
Praetor. That's not very nice. Yes, too soon.
Yeah. Christopher Walken's a good one. I like that too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not really B-list.
I don't know. If we were going to go with celebrities that passed, I would want Chris Farley in 100%. That would be my guy.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to live in Aurora down by the river. That'd be great, dude. It'd be great. I'd love that. I don't know.
I would love to see some Futurama stuff in there.
That would be good. I don't know. I'd probably have to go with like anybody from Firefly. I would love to run those guys as mission givers. They would just fit the genre.
Summer Glau would be amazing.
Oh, dude.
I'll go with that.
Any. Like anybody.
We need to run into like Private Johnny Rico when we're doing our Vandal fights.
Yeah. Anyone from Farscape? That's another good one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many good ones that I don't know. I mean,
yeah, Malcolm McDowell. McDowell.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, there's
Bruce
so many.
Campbell. Yep.
Bruce Campbell. Oh, that'd be great. That'd be
James Earl Jones. Oh God, yes.
Oh boy, that'd be crazy.
So yeah, there's just so many people that but those are not B-list guys. Those are
No,
people
we're
that would
starting
cost
getting into
lots
some
of money.
That's why I was sticking Firefly and some of that. I mean, some of the people you're pulling down, you're gonna get some people that are like, they cost some money.
Yep.
Anytime you go above like Mark Hamill grade, you're gonna get into some
Hey,
crazy.
Gary Oldman, he's
Gary Oldman,
He's
I don't even know
dead.
if I consider him like
Dead, by the way.
yeah, but
what?
Oh, yeah, Gary. Oh no, sorry.
No,
Gary
he's
Oldman.
not.
Different one. I was
Different
thinking
one.
the different Strokes kid.
oh my god,
Oh, God. Gary Coleman.
Coleman. Nah, yeah, I don't.
What you
Gary
talking about,
Coleman.
Willis?
God.
What you talking about, Willis? Oh my God.
Yeah, Michael Caine would be good too. I'd like to see him in there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ones. I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot. All right. And then the final question from Driz. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't really want him to spend money on celebs. DLC
Yeah, me
content or
neither.
something. That's why it's a hard question for me to answer. I mean, if that is the question, then sure. I'd like to see some cameos from my favorite space genres, Just
Well,
because
they
I think
did
it'd be
that with
cool.
WoW a few years back, didn't they? Didn't they even
But
have
that's
like
something I
William
think
Shatner on
Yeah,
WoW?
but they had Mr. T too, didn't they?
Yeah. But
Yeah,
those
but-
guys, there were a bunch of people who got really seriously addicted to WoW. Like stars who were playing it like a lot.
But also, I think that's something you do post live. That's something
Yes,
you do. It's like we're
exactly.
going to add in, like, oh, look at this. This guy's in there. Go find this one mission giver or something like that. I don't think it's the time to do that type of stuff. But I think it'd still be kind of fun down the road. Last question from Driz says, if you find a dead space whale, will you try to put it through your reclaimer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Toy?
Got to recover all that
Absolutely.
titanium diamond infused bone.
I'd say not unless somebody else is going to clean it up, because that's going to be a messy mother sucker.
That's what my NPCs are for.
Oh, my God.
Go clean it up. Swab the deck there.
Yes. All right, guys. And with that, we're going to go ahead and get ready to do this riffle raffle. If you haven't entered it yet and you've been hanging out with us all night, ! SpaceBro, singular, in chat will get you into the giveaway. This is for a $10 Star Citizen gift card for one lucky viewer, which, again, I apologize I didn't get all the prizes out today. It will be done by tomorrow, and we will have all that stuff there. But we'll get this gift card out to you as well then. I might work on them tonight after the show. We'll just see. Yeah, so again, we'll see most of you guys. Everybody's going to be on either later tonight like Dr. Drones or tomorrow early on with Uber Nerd. And then you'll see me in the afternoon tomorrow as well. So we're going to have some more fun. Lots of good goals and giveaways and stuff. Toy will stream sometime randomly when you don't expect it. So make sure to follow us all on Twitter or you might miss out on an opportunity. Critically important for that because we are nearing CitizenCon, TwitchCon, all the cons. So make sure that you're hanging out with all the bros because both me, Toy, and Drones will be at TwitchCon. You'll see all of us doing a little bit of IRL, hanging out, doing some stuff there, varying places. And then Mr. Uber Nerd. Yeah, a little bit of IRL. And then Uber Nerd will be holding it down from home, making sure you stay updated with not only Star Citizen news, but what's going on with all us and everybody else, too. So it'd be fun.
Yep.
Additionally, then when Drones is done with that, he'll be coming back home, too. So they'll both be available for during CitizenCon domestically during their usual hours. And me and Toy will have some crazy hours because we'll be +9 from my time in German time.
Jesus.
So who knows when we'll be strumming.
Interesting.
It'll be all
Also,
time.
just a note,
I'm not sleeping.
I may start a 911 dispatcher job
Yes.
soon. That I don't know what the hours that I will have yet.
Yep.
So there is still some question
Yep.
as to exactly my times of streaming.
And once we have all those information, we'll be spreading that around with his new schedule or what adjustments need to be made. You might even see another podcast pop up for the Space Bros soon, because we do want to make sure we can include everybody. But we're going to try to keep our show in the same time slot. We might add an additional one on a Sunday or something like that. So we'll see what happens. But other than that, guys, again, make sure you're following everybody. !500 in chat to get into the amazing multiple giveaways on the giveaway and promotion page on my website. And with no further ado, even though we have that many people in here and we only have 72 entries, I guess the rest of you don't want to try to go for this, but that's okay by me. Boop. It's sealed now. 72 viewers have entered. Let's see who is going to be our winner for the $10 gift card tonight. Good luck, everybody. In 3, 2, 1. Looks like Veclor. Veclor is going to win this one, guys. So we are going to send him a quick Twitch message. So congratulations, my friend. And make sure, guys, that you are hanging out just for a couple more minutes. So we're going to go ahead and go do a quick raid on another beautiful strummer. Well, I actually spelled all that right too. That was amazing. Terrible at spelling stuff. Stuff and spelling for suckers. Let's see here. All right. Who are we gonna hit? I think we are gonna go over. Where is he at? Yep. We are going to go hit Mr. Astropub. Give him some love. So make sure to light up his chat well, my friends. And do all the goodies. And we will all see you a bit later. So this is where we're going to go. Gentlemen, please tell all these fine viewers good night. And
good night.
Yeah. Even in Wookiee. See, we're very diverse people here at the Space Bros. We love you, and we will see you later on.
Sleep long and prosper.
There you go.